Welcome to the AdaKay Show. I'm your host, AdaKay, and I am a criminal justice major. I am also a deaf courtroom commentator, breaking down the gripping courtroom drama while providing full ASL interpretation, making justice accessible to everyone. Grab a cup of Java and let's dive in. Don't forget, comment, like, and subscribe. And if you love this channel, please become a member. Love that music. Hi, welcome back. Trial number 3 today. We're busy bees over here at AdaKay Media, and I want to give a huge shout out to my fabulous mods because I couldn't do it without them. Okay, now we are going over to Hawaii, and I need to get all that set up. Hawaii is the trial where an anesthesiologist is accused of trying to unalive his wife. Yes. And, she did not pass away, thank you, dear Jesus. But they are up on, he is up for tinted red room, and he tried to push her off the cliff. He allegedly tried to stab her with a syringe with an unknown substance, and he bludgeoned her in the head, causing facial and fractures in the orbital bone, and it was witnessed. Hi, Gentile. Is that it? Gentile, thank you. I'm sorry. Hi, Miss Gentile. So we are going to go into this particular trial. A little different. I've never covered a case out of Hawaii, so I'm kind of excited to see how they run their courtroom. Probably the same way everybody else does. But let's go ahead and get into trial because we don't have all day. Now, I am going to be in and out. Don't panic. I'm here. I'm listening. But I got to get to packing. This is third trial of the day. And it's after 4 o'clock, so I have help coming. They're done with work, so I got to be mindful of everybody else. But I am here watching, okay? I'm going to get us going, and then I'll be popping in now. Ooh, we got good court sound. We got good court sound. Oh, my gosh. We got really good court sound. June,
you will hear the attorneys make objections during trial.
Maybe not.
Those objections are not evidence. All of the questions and answers that we've been going through during jury selection, not evidence.
Okay, this is going to be a strictly read for me because with his accent, I can't understand a word he's saying. I want to thank everybody. Hi, honey. Gentile, thank you so much for being here. Oh, you lived there as a little girl. We had somebody else who lived there. I do have the likes up, y'all. We're gonna do the drawings for the like. I think it was hello, it's Brit. How are you doing? Right, all is good. Let's get this going, but just understand, y'all, I'm reading this case because I can't understand it.
The opening statements and the closing arguments by the lawyers are also not evidence. Sometimes you'll hear a witness testify, and I may strike some of the testimony. Any testimony that I strike, not evidence, and you cannot consider the stricken testimony when you decide the case. And speaking of objections, you will hear lawyers make objections. It's their duty to object when they believe it's appropriate. And those objections are helpful for the court to make sure that we remain focused on the issues that the jury needs to decide. I'm going to rule on those objections according to the law. When I rule on those objections, don't be concerned about my reasons for the rulings. If I sustain an objection and I do not allow a question to be answered, we must not speculate about what the answer might have been, nor draw any conclusion from the question itself, because an unanswered question is not evidence. You will see me meet with the attorneys up here at the bench. We'll turn on the white noise. We'll have a whispered conference. We do that time to time. We need to discuss certain legal matters as the trial unfolds. If it's going to be a longer discussion, what I'll do is I'll just put the jury on recess, have you wait outside while I conduct that longer legal discussion in the court with the attorneys. When we do have those bench conferences or when we do have those recess conferences, don't speculate about why we're meeting and pardon the inconvenience when we do have them. Notes. This is a long trial. Each of you will be given a notebook, or notebooks if you need more, and pens. Now, some jurors prefer to take notes as the evidence is being presented. Other jurors prefer not to do so. It's up to you to decide whether or not you want to take notes. Keep in mind, though, your notes are not evidence, and they're only a memory aid for yourself. They're not a substitute for your own recollection of the evidence. If you do take notes, though, make sure that you can still listen carefully to all of the testimony and observe the witnesses as they testify. Your observations of a witness may be considered when you're determining credibility. Whenever you leave the courtroom, leave your notebooks face down on your chair. They'll be waiting for you the next day you come back to court. Your notes will not be read by anyone. When you begin your deliberations, though, you're able to take your notes with you into the jury deliberation room. During this trial, do not talk about this case with anyone. That includes friends, co-workers, or family members. Don't allow anyone to discuss this case with you. And if anybody asks, tell them that you're under court orders to not discuss the case. Throughout the course of this trial, even when you recess at the end of the day, do not share any information, opinions, or anything else about this case with anyone, personally or through writing, digital communications, or social media. You must not discuss this case even amongst yourselves until you're instructed to begin your deliberations. And during your deliberations, you can only discuss this case in the jury room when all jurors are present. Do not investigate this case in any way. This means that you must not visit any of the places that are mentioned during the trial. You cannot conduct experiments, consult any reference materials. Do not read, listen, or watch to any media accounts about this case. And again, there are media accounts about this case. Don't try to look it up. Don't research it. If it happens to show up when you're eating dinner, turn off the TV, walk to the next room. Again, your decision must be based on the evidence that's presented here in the courtroom, as well as the court's instruction on the law. If you do receive outside information, though, even if it's unintentional, do not share it with any other juror. If that happens, or if anybody tries to influence you during this trial, you must immediately tell Ms. McCallum. Keep an open mind throughout this trial. And do not make up your mind about the verdict or about any other issue until you have discussed this case with the other jurors during deliberations. Also, do not conclude from my rulings or anything else that I say or do that I favor one side over the other. And as we discussed during jury selection, do not let any bias, sympathy, prejudice, or public opinion influence you during this trial. And my last instruction is, make sure you keep all your electronic devices on silent mode while we're here in the courtroom. We will give you, if you don't already have it, if anybody needs to get a hold of you, they can call the number. We'll get the message to you as soon as possible. Before we get to the opening statements, Ms. Tony Apple-Fisher is now the clerk taking care of the administrative duties today. As I indicated, she and Ms. Long will be taking turns here in the courtroom. New court reporter today, this is Ms. Nikki Chang. She's taking Ms. Miyasato's place. The court reporters will also rotate during this trial. So ladies and gentlemen, we'll now get to the opening statements of the attorneys. The purpose of an opening statement is to give you an outline of the evidence that each party expects to be presented in this case. Essentially, it's a preview of the trial as seen by that party. It is not evidence, but merely intended to help you in considering the evidence. The prosecution will go first, followed by the defense. Mr. Garner, are you ready to present the state's opening statement?
Yes, Your Honor.
Please.
Help! 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 Those are the words that Amanda Morris and Sarah Bucksbaum heard as they were walking up the Palipuka Trail on March 24, 2025. Amanda and Sarah heard those words, help, 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 and they rushed up the trail thinking that somebody had fallen off of the cliff on top. They get to the section with the cliff, and they see, and Amanda sees, a man on top of a woman. A man holding a rock. The man swings the rock, hits the woman in the head. Sarah sees that same man standing over that same woman, holding that same rock. Both of them see the woman, Ariel Konig, with a face covered in blood. In this trial, you will learn about Ariel Konig, who she is, what happened that day. But you'll also learn about
Well, that's not me.
the man holding the rock. The man who hit her with that rock. Dr. Gerhardt Konig, anesthesiologist, Ariel's husband, and the defendant in this case. Now, Ariel and Dr. Konig, the defendant, normally don't live on Oahu. They're from Maui, where Ariel works remotely and Dr. Konig practices anesthesia. But that weekend, March 24th, 2025, just under a year ago, they came to Oahu for Ariel's birthday. Ariel's birthday, March 24th, the day this happened. It was actually Ariel's very first trip to Oahu. Her first time coming to this island. The defendant planned the trip. The defendant booked the tickets. The defendant booked the hotel room. The defendant planned the couple's activities. The defendant researched and planned the hike that he took Ariel on that morning. That morning, March 24th, 2025, around 10 o'clock in the morning, the defendant drives Ariel up to the Poly Lookout. They get to the Poly Lookout, the big tourist area overlooking the whole bunch of the windward side, and they get ready to go on the hike. The trailhead for the Polypuka Trail is in the bus parking lot of the Poly Lookout, so not where rental cars or other people park. It's on the other side, next to a set of bathrooms over a wall. So the defendant takes Ariel there, but when they get to the trailhead, they see other potential hikers. They see other people looking for how to start the trail. And Ariel wants to help them. She wants to help them find where the trail starts so that those people can hike up the trail. And she suggests that to the defendant. She says, why don't we show them where the trail is? And he tells her, no. He wants to hike with her alone. He doesn't want to help those people. He wants to hike with her alone. So, they don't go up the trail at that point. They go to the Poly Lookout. They go to the tourist area with the plaques. They go to the lookout, looking all over the windward side, and stay there for a few minutes, take photos, then go back to the trail. Now when they go back, there's nobody else. They're alone, and they start the hike together. They start the hike. It starts in a heavily forested area. You climb over a wall, you go past a sign, you start going up a hill. It's a steep hill, a lot of tree roots, but not a lot of brush cover on the very start. So they go up this hill, and they get to the top of the ridge. Once they get to the top of the ridge, the trail goes left. The trail follows the top of the ridge. On one side, the town side, there's a steep hill, covered in forest, heavy brush on the ground. But on the other side, the windward side of the trail, sheer cliff, several 100-foot drop all the way to the bottom of the poly. They start to hike up the trail. They start to hike up the ridge. And they go for a few minutes. Everything's normal. But they get to a point where you need to climb with your hands and your feet, a scramble area. Once they get to that point, Ariel gets freaked out by the exposure. She doesn't like that there's a big cliff to the right. She doesn't like there's a steep hill down the left. Doesn't like that she has to climb on her hands and feet. So she wants to turn around. And the whole reason of going to the Poly Puka hike is because there's a puka. Up the trail, there is a puka, a hole in the side of the mountain where you can look through the hole, take photos, where you can look out through the puka down at the windward side. But they never got there because Ariel wanted to turn around. So Ariel stops hiking. She says she's not comfortable with this. She wants to turn around. The defendant goes on. He hikes another couple minutes up the trail. He hikes another couple minutes, then he comes back and he tells Ariel, tries to convince her to keep going. He tries to say, oh, this is the hardest part. Everything beyond this little bit, easy. But Ariel's still not feeling it. Ariel doesn't want to go on. So they start to descend. And as they start to descend the trail, as they start to walk down that ridge, now, at this point, the steep hill with the forest is on the right, the town side, and the cliff side, the windward side, is on the left. They walk down the trail. They're taking photos. They're sending photos to their family. Defendant ends up taking Ariel's phone to take photos of her, to take a selfie. And Ariel actually takes a photo of the defendant with her phone as well, right by the cliff. Ariel takes a photo and she sends it to her family on an application called Snapchat with the tagline on there, "Don't look down." The defendant then wants to take a photo with Ariel right by the edge of the cliff. And she says she's uncomfortable with it. She's uncomfortable with the cliff. She's uncomfortable with the fall, with the danger. So she goes, she holds onto a tree, and she tries to take the photo. The defendant goes back up, away from the cliff, back towards the trail. Ariel follows. And then as Ariel's moving down the trail to safely get by the defendant at this narrow spot with the cliff behind her, the defendant ends up grabbing her by her shoulders. He pushes her backwards towards that cliff. Ariel goes to the ground. She goes to the ground. They start wrestling. They start struggling. They start fighting. And in that fight, the defendant gains the advantage. The defendant gets on top of Ariel. The defendant is straddling Ariel over her waist, pinning her onto the ground. And Ariel's trying to fight back. She's trying to struggle. But she sees in the defendant's hand a syringe. She sees in the defendant's hand a syringe, and she tries to hit it away. She hits it. The syringe falls out the defendant's hand, and then she sees a vial in the same hand. As the defendant reaches into the backpack he had, reaching in there, trying to grab something, Ariel still struggles. She still tries to take that vial out of his hand. And they keep fighting. And at this time, the defendant has Ariel's phone. The defendant is holding on to Ariel's purse. The defendant is holding on to Ariel's wallet. Ariel pleads with the defendant. She talks about their children. She asks the defendant not to do this. She begs him not to do this. And the defendant says, "I'm sick of this shit." He's sick of this shit. Ariel calms the defendant down. She thinks she calms the defendant down until the defendant picks up that rock. Until the defendant picks up that rock that Amanda Morris saw. Until the defendant picks up that rock that Sarah Buxbaum saw. And just when she thought the defendant had calmed down, he starts to take that rock and bash her in the head multiple times. "Help! Help! Help!" is what Ariel says while the defendant is hitting her. And those cries were answered. Those cries were answered when Amanda Morris and Sarah Buxbaum arrived on the scene. The defendant stood up. Amanda again saw him hit Ariel. The defendant stands up. Ariel is able to scoot away. Ariel is able to get to Amanda and Sarah, and they're able to get Ariel safely down the rest of the trail. Once Ariel got to that safety of Amanda and Sarah, the defendant was left alone at the scene. Alone with Ariel's phone. Alone with Ariel's wallet. Alone with Ariel's purse. Alone with the syringe. And alone with the vial. All those items, Ariel's phone, purse, wallet, the syringe, the vial, those were never recovered. The story doesn't end quite there once Ariel gets to safety. A few minutes later, at 10:36 a.m., the defendant takes his phone out. He dials his son, his 19-year-old son, named Emil. He calls him on the FaceTime application on his phone. There's a video call, so Emil can see his dad. And Emil sees his dad with blood all over him. And what does the defendant say to Emil? He says, "I'm not going to make it back. I tried to kill Ari, but she got away." That's what the defendant tells Emil. He doesn't just tell Emil that he tried to kill Ariel, though. He tells her why. The defendant tells Emil, "She's been cheating on me for the last 3 months, or the last several months." He gives his motive to Emil, and he explains his reasoning. He even tells Emil, "I'm at the end of my rope." An hour later, the defendant calls Emil back. The first question the defendant asks him, "Emil, did you tell anybody?" And Emil says yes. Emil says, "I told Judy and Peter Mast, Ariel's mom and stepdad." Now, how does the defendant respond? He says he's going to jump. Emil tells him not to, tries to convince him not to, and the defendant ends the phone call by saying, "I gotta hang up so the police don't find me." That phone call was at around 11:40 a.m. That's the last anyone heard of the defendant for the next 6 to 7 hours. The defendant told Emil that he was turning his phone off so the police couldn't find him. And for a long time, they couldn't. Despite a manhunt that lasted for almost 8 hours that day. Multiple different agencies, Honolulu Police Department, Honolulu Fire Department, the Department of Land and Natural Resources, multiple agencies all trying to find the defendant, all searching for him in that forest up there at the Palipuka area. None of them could find him. But later on, as the sun was getting ready to set, a few minutes after 6 p.m., March 24, 2025, 3 HPD officers are headed back to the station. They've been called off the search. They're done. They couldn't find him. But as they're driving on that road that goes from the Pali Lookout back to the Pali Highway, back to town, they're driving out and they see a man. They see a man exit the forest. A man matching the description of the defendant. They identify themselves. They say, "Police! Police!" The man runs. He tries to get to the forest. He tries to escape them. The officers catch up. They apprehend him. They do use force to do so. And the man is identified as Dr. Gerhardt Konig. Now, you'll hear about this case. You've all been informed about how long this trial is going to be. So you hear about this case in a couple different phases. First, you'll hear from witnesses, Amanda Morris, Sarah Bucksbaum. You'll hear what happened up at the Pali Lookout on March 24, 2025. You'll hear how the investigation proceeded. You'll hear from the HPD officers who responded. You'll hear from the DLNR officer who responded. You'll hear from the evidence specialists who went to the scene, who took photographs of the bloody patch on the ground, of the crushed plants, of the trail of blood. You'll see those photos. You'll see the photos of Ariel at the scene and how she looked like immediately after this happened. You'll hear from Ariel herself. She'll testify as to what happened on March 24th, her birthday. And she'll testify on March 24th of this year. 1 year later. She'll describe what happened that day. She'll describe the 3 months, almost 4 months, leading up to that day. She'll describe this cheating that the defendant was upset about. Because back in December 2024, the defendant found WhatsApp messages between Ariel and a coworker. Ariel describes them as flirty. You will see the messages. You will see the messages, and you will get to see what they say. There's nothing lewd. There's nothing sexual. There's nothing romantic. They're flirty. But this was an issue in their relationship. The defendant was upset. Ariel wanted to stay in the relationship. They take the steps. They go to couples counseling. Things are getting better. Things are getting better. And Ariel keeps thinking, okay, now it's time. A romantic trip, birthday weekend, we're back on track. Lastly, Ariel will explain what happened after this incident. So after March 24th, what kind of injuries she had, what kind of effects they had on her. She'll explain, and you will hear testimony, that Ariel, after this happened, by several days, removed the money from a joint bank account that she shared with the defendant. You'll hear that Ariel removed that money, that she used it to pay the mortgage, that she used it to pay for the tuition for the children she shared with the defendant, that she used it to pay marital debt that they'd incurred, that she used it to pay the defendant's own credit card bills. So you'll see what Ariel did with that money. Okay. Beyond that, you'll hear scientific evidence in this case. There will be DNA testimony. All of the blood that was found on the trail was swabbed. All that blood was subjected to DNA testing. And all of that blood, through the DNA testing, shows an incredibly high likelihood ratio that supports is Ariel's blood and only her blood. But not only the blood from the trail, several different swabs from the defendant's clothes recovered from his person all will show Ariel's blood and none will show his. You'll see the evidence that was collected. You'll see the rock. You'll see the rock that was recovered from the trail. The bottom half jagged, covered in Ariel's blood. You'll also hear in this case what's called digital forensics. The police recovered a laptop, the defendant's laptop, and they looked through that laptop for certain terms, and they found from December 2024 through March 2025 several relevant things that you'll hear. You'll hear the defendant on Christmas Eve 2024, 3 in the morning, was on the internet looking up internet forum posts about infidelity. You'll hear the defendant on Christmas Day at 4 in the morning was doing the same thing. You'll hear that on New Year's Eve, 8:30 p.m., the defendant was looking up Ariel's financial information. You'll see from the forensics that in those months leading up to March 24th, you will see what was on the defendant's mind by looking at the digital forensics. You'll see that he was looking up divorce. He was looking up how much his prior divorce had cost him. He was looking up notes on Ariel's computer about divorce. He was looking up Ariel's financials. And lastly, from the digital forensics, you will see these messages that the defendant was so upset about. Okay, almost there. Okay. Near the end, the last couple phases of this trial, you'll hear from Gerhardt Konig. He'll testify what happened on March 24th. He'll testify about that first phone call, about what his dad told him, about why his dad did it. He'll testify about that second phone call, about what his dad told him he was going to do. You'll hear that the defendant confessed and that he planned to hide from the police. And lastly, at the end, you'll hear from the officers who successfully apprehended the defendant. On their way back to the station, just ran into him. So you hear from them what they saw, what the defendant did, and how they managed to catch him. And at the end of this case, at the end of all this evidence, the state will come back, the evidence will show, and the state will prove beyond a reasonable doubt that Dr. Gerhardt Konig consciously, intentionally made a choice on March 24th, 2025 to try to take a life. And when the state does that, we will ask you to find the defendant guilty as charged. Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Garner. Mr. Otaki, are you ready to present the defendant's opening statement?
I am, Your Honor. Thank you.
Please,
Just a second to get set up here.
take your time whenever you're ready.
Thanks. Okay, ready?
Please.
Good morning, ladies and gentlemen. There are often two sides to every story, and it's only fair that we wait to hear both sides before we start to make up our mind. You just heard one side. You just heard one side. And this is my opportunity to share with you the other side. To share with you the full story, both sides. To share with you the complex human interactions between Gerhardt and his wife, and the complex human chain of events between December and March that resulted in him sitting here falsely accused of attempted murder. And the evidence will show he is falsely accused of attempted murder. And let me get one thing straight from the start. He never ever confessed to his son on that phone call. The evidence will show that's not true. This is a long, complex human story. And I'm going to walk you through all the details of it this morning. However, the evidence will show that this story, this human story, can be summarized best in three words. Just in summary, three words. Unfaithful, unwilling, and untrue. Unfaithful, unwilling, and untrue. Unfaithful. Ariel Konig was unfaithful to her husband. In the latter part of 2024, she engaged in an inappropriate relationship with a man she worked with, a married man named Jeffrey Miller, an affair. When Gerhardt discovered it in early December 2024, he was heartbroken. He was devastated. And he didn't know if they could come back from that. He didn't know if he could trust her again. He didn't know if he wanted to. But they both had a lot invested in this marriage. They both had moved to Maui. They had two very young boys together. And they thought they should try. Both of them wanted to try. But in order to try, there was going to be things that Gerhardt needed on a human level. On a human level, there's just going to be things he needed to heal from her inappropriate relationship with Mr. Miller. He was going to need her to quit her job and never speak to, communicate, or be together with Mr. Miller again. Understandable. She loved her job. She liked her job very much. It's a very rare, unique job. I'm going to talk a little bit more about that. But he needed her to quit and not be around Mr. Miller. He needed her to accept responsibility, not minimize, not be defensive, show remorse for this relationship that she had. And you will see the messages, some of them, because she deleted most of them. But the ones you'll see. And you'll see where she, in text messages to him, admits that she had an affair. You'll see it. So he needed her to accept it, and he needed her to show remorse. And he needed her to give up some of her secrecy. She had been hiding things, deleting things, so he needed that. If he was going to trust her again, he needed her to be more open and not hide these things. And he needed some intimacy from her, emotional intimacy, but also physical, to feel better, to feel like she still cared about him. Unwilling, second word. The evidence will show that after being confronted by him, she initially admits to it, accepts responsibility, and says she wants to do these things, says, yeah, you're right, I want to make this work, I'm going to quit my job, no more contact with Miller, do all these things. Very quickly, that changed. She very quickly became unwilling to do those things that it was going to take to live this way, to make it work. Primarily, she did not want to quit her job, and not seeing Mr. Miller in person was affecting her job. So she didn't quit. She said, but I just won't talk to him, I won't be with him. But that was affecting her job into January and February. So she quickly became unwilling to do those things. And that unwillingness led to a very tumultuous January and February of 2025, because they would make some progress, and then she would, she wouldn't be willing, they would take a couple steps back. It was an emotional roller coaster for both of them. Complex human interactions. But they were trying. They were trying. They were trying. This leads to March, when, in an effort to try, Gerhardt asks her, hey, your birthday's coming up, what do you want to do? She is the one who said, hey, I've been wanting to go on a staycation to Oahu. You will see it. She admits to that. So they go on this trip to Oahu, and they go on this hike, and I'm going to get into a lot more details, but you're going to hear how on the hike she brought it up, and she said, hey, it's been a while now, I got to see Mr. Miller again for work, you got to trust me. And he's dumbfounded. He realizes they made zero progress over the last 3 months. She doesn't understand what he's going through. She's not willing to do what it's going to take. And he tells her, well, this isn't going to work. You're going to have to move out. And I'm going to tell all our family and friends about your affair. It's just not going to work. This leads to a physical altercation that she started. She started. She came after him, started kicking, punching. They end up on the ground. She's swinging at him. He's grabbing an arm. She's swinging with the other arm. She's kicking him. As the prosecutor said, they're on the ground. She picks up a rock and hits him in the face with it. And he quickly reacts, human reaction, grabs the rock, hits her twice, and stops. Untrue. Untrue. After that, knowing that the marriage is over, knowing that this is heading for a divorce and custody battle, the evidence will show Gerhardt Konig says many untrue things about what happened. And she did so, you will see, to get the upper hand in the coming divorce and custody case. And you will see how she is using the allegations in this case, in the divorce, to get everything. His retirement, the house, full custody, everything. Unfaithful to her husband, unwilling to do what it was going to take, untrue things after all of this happens on the cliff. Says untrue things. I'm going to get into this in a lot more detail over the next half an hour, but there's a few things I want to address up front. The evidence will show there was absolutely no premeditated plan to take her up to this busy parking lot, the Pali Lookout parking lot, in broad daylight in the middle of the morning at 10-something in the morning, and try to kill her in broad daylight. There was no premeditated plan. This was a unplanned, unanticipated scuffle that happened between a couple. There was no plan. Number two, the evidence will show there was absolutely no syringes on the mountain that day. He didn't have any syringes, wasn't trying to stab her. The evidence will show he never tried to throw her off the cliff. She attacked him, pushed him, and they ended up in a scuffle on the ground. He never tried to throw her off the cliff. Number four, the evidence will show he did hit her with the rock. He did hit her with the rock. And she does have, I'll tell you, she's got a bad cut on her head. She's got a severe laceration on her head from it. And it bleeds a lot. But the evidence will show, medically speaking, it looked worse than it was. You'll hear from Queen's doctors who treated her that day and said that there was no substantial risk of death from the cut, and it didn't even rise to the level of serious bodily injury. She had no skull fractures, brain bleeds. They stitched her up, they let her go the next morning. That's what the medical evidence will show. The evidence will show he never confessed to his son. I'm going to talk more about that later. That's what the evidence will show. Now, before I get into the details more, I want to share a little bit with you about Dr. Konig, Gerhardt. He's 47 years old. He was 46 when this happened. He was actually born and raised initially in South Africa. His parents, Peter, his dad, and his mom, Anwil, flew in today. They were raising the kids. He has 3 siblings, 2 brothers and a sister. LaRue, Ruan, and Lisa, his siblings. At some point when Gerhardt was about 9th grade, they moved to San Diego. Just things going on in South Africa at the time. They wanted to come in a better situation. Gerhardt graduated from high school, went to college, UC San Diego, majored in bioengineering. Worked a little bit, went to med school. He got married young, his first marriage when he was 20 years old. He married a lady named Jessica Ray Patella. And they had 2 kids when he was relatively young, still in medical school. Ophelia, his older daughter, and then Emil. You're going to hear a lot about Emil. And he finished med school. He did his residency in anesthesiology and became board certified, was actually teaching as a professor. And sometime in his residency, his first marriage, they separated, they got a divorce. So he knows what it's like to get a divorce. You know, it's not ideal. He didn't want to do it again. But it wasn't a situation where, like, if, you know, he had to, I'm going to kill her if I can't be with her. No, he's been through it. So they separate, and from his first wife. When it's time for him to start dating again, he goes online and uses dating for a couple of free dating apps. It didn't really work out, so he paid for a subscription to eharmony.com. And at some point, Ariel Konig reaches out to him, and they go on a date at a bar, and things progress from there. They get married in 2018. They have their first son, Olin, is born in 2020. And they're living in Pittsburgh at the time. He's working, she's working. And they wanted to find a safer place to live. There was a lot of gun violence in the area. It was important to them to find a safer, maybe warmer place as well. They fell in love with Maui. For those reasons, they fell in love with Maui. It was going to be a hit to their careers, though, because especially her, what she does, nuclear engineering, and she works on these big nuclear energy projects. There wasn't really jobs like that in Maui, but she wanted to do that and come here. And so that's what they did. They moved here in March of 2023, and right before they moved here, literally the month before, their second son, Vigo, was born. Right before they moved. So they moved here, and from March 2023 until December 2024, for Gerhardt, it was a dream life. He got a good job at Maui Memorial. He loved his wife. He loved his kids, living in paradise on Maui. It was a great life. He loved his marriage. In 2024, we find out Ariel didn't necessarily feel the same way. In August of 2024, she has to travel a lot for work because she works virtually. In August of 2024, she goes on a trip to South Africa with Jeffrey Miller. And Gerhardt knows about it, but he has no reason to be concerned. He's not really worried about it at all. She comes back. In October, the family, they go on a trip to Kauai for Emil's birthday. And for the first time, he starts to see some red flags. He overhears her talking on the phone to Mr. Miller, which is supposed to be a work call, and it just didn't sound right. It was overly flirty. It was the way someone in a relationship would talk to another, and it bothered him. But he said, maybe, I'm not, it's weird, but, Things progress in November and December. He keeps seeing these things. When he walks in, she's texting somebody, she hides her phone, and he starts to, a lot of red flags. So he goes into detective mode. And in early December, when she's sleeping, he logs onto her phone, and she's not text messages, not emails for work. She finds a WhatsApp message thread between her and Miller. And it was more than flirty. It was very, very concerning. It was inappropriate. And what concerned him a lot is it was clear she was deleting a lot of it. So he's really, really worried. Really worried. He stays home the next day, and now he uses his computer and he logs onto WhatsApp, and he's able to log into her WhatsApp. And he sees live the communication throughout the day between her and Miller. And it was clear what was going on between the two of them. And he'll tell you about what he saw. Knowing now that she was in this inappropriate relationship and this affair with Mr. Miller, he was heartbroken. And he didn't know quite what to do. So a couple of days go by. They had a trip planned to San Luis Obispo, and he ends up confronting her about it there. She's immediately apologetic. She says she admits to it, and they have, you know, it's hard. It's a lot of tears, a lot of crying, a lot of working through it that weekend. They don't know what to do, and he was telling her, I don't know maybe you should move out. Maybe you should move out. And by the end, they agree. Okay, not going to move out, but you know, these are the things that he needed, right? And we talked about that. And he shared, you know, with her, she needed to quit her job. She needed to not see him anymore. And all the things that I talked to you about earlier. They get back to Maui, and she actually starts looking for a new job. You will hear that there's no other job like hers. And she quickly realizes she wasn't willing to give that up. She wanted her career mattered to her more than doing what Gerhardt needed to stop working with this man. Now, January and February, like I said, a lot of emotional roller coaster, working on it, making progress, realizing she's not really, she starts minimizing, she starts bringing up things he should have done differently. They end up in counseling, the counseling's about other things as well, and they're making some progress. It's kind of like one step forward, two steps back, but they're still trying. And this comes to the March trip that I talked to you about. Now, he does suggest, let's do something for your birthday. She says, why don't we go on a trip to Oahu? This was not some big plan of his to get her to Oahu, the more crowded place, and try to kill her in broad daylight. Okay, that's the evidence will not support that. They came here for her birthday. The first night, I think they get here on a Sunday. They have a good day. They go to the spa together. You'll see some photos from the trip. They're enjoying themselves. They go to dinner that night. Next day is her birthday. They wake up, they go downstairs, they get coffee. The plan was they were going to go on this hike. She knew about the hike. They researched it together before coming here. She packed her hiking stuff. It was something that she was excited about. And then after that, they were going to spend some time at the pool. And you will see the reservation from Fett Restaurant that he made for dinner that night. You will see it. He had dinner reservations for Fett that very night when apparently he had a plan to throw off a mountain that day. There was reservations at the restaurant. So that was what the day was supposed to be. You'll hear they start heading up to the mountain. And that morning, you'll hear about some life insurance issues. You'll hear that after this affair and all of that, as a way to kind of commit, he wanted to increase his life insurance for her. He wanted to increase his for her. So you'll hear he took the steps to increase his life insurance to $1.5 million. And it came in two stages. The million got approved about a week or so before, and that morning, the second half of that got approved. And you see on the document, he made her the sole beneficiary. He got an email that very morning of the hike, and he shared it with her, and he said, hey, look, good news, it's all approved. 1.5 million in effect. I think hers it was up to maybe 250,000 or something like that. And so that was on the way there. He shared that with her. So they get there, and you're going to see the body cam, or you're going to see evidence. It's a super crowded parking lot. Tour buses, tourists, people everywhere, cars everywhere. He says, well, it was a separate tour bus one, and that they're right next to each other. It's the same parking lot. It's a very, very crowded place. It's a popular trail. This incident that they described, that I'll describe today, it took place about 5 minutes in from that parking lot. It took place 5 minutes in from that parking lot in broad daylight. There was no effort to go on this hike alone. They had some trouble. First time there, they're looking for the trailhead. They go to check out the Pali Lookout. They start up on the trail. On the trail, they start talking about the progress they're making and things like that. And she says, hey, I need you to start trusting me more. It's been a while. We've made progress. I got to be able to travel for work. I got to be able to be in the same place as Mr. Miller. You don't have to worry about it, but I do need, it's impacting my work, okay? We're not here saying that she wanted to divorce him and marry Mr. Miller. She had this, affair on the side and whatever it was, but now she was worried about her job. And she was saying, I gotta be able, it's affecting my work. And he's dumb, like I said, he's dumbfounded. It showed that she had zero understanding of what he was going through in the last 3 months, how hard it was for him. And that leads him to tell her, this is crazy. This isn't going to work. This isn't going to work. And you're going to have to move out, and people are going to ask why, and I'm going to tell them why. Because of your relationship with Mr. Jeffrey Miller, your co-worker. Of course, she's upset. And this is very important. You will hear this from her. At that point, she says, I don't want to go on this hike anymore. Understandably, they're in a big fight, right? But they're 5 minutes in from the parking lot. You'll see it's not very far up. It's not sheer cliffs on every side when you're walking up there. Just bushes and, they're 5 minutes in. And she says, I don't want to go on this hike. Very important. He says, okay, well, fine. I'm going up on my own. And he leaves her there and continues on. That will be undisputed. Leaves her there. Equally important. He goes up a little bit, 5 minutes in, and he's like, this is ridiculous. I'm not going to go on this hike. Just forget it. Let's just go back to the hotel and just, go home. He comes back down, and she will tell you this, undisputed. He gets there, and he says to her, oh, you're still here. I thought you were going back to the car. The evidence will show he had no plan to take her up there and kill her. The evidence will show he left her on the hike thinking she was going back to the car. This idea about, oh, she got away and escaped from me, he left her thinking she was going back to the car. This is not some fight over not wanting to take a photo in the right place. He gets back down there, and she's acting different, and she's acting very differently. You'll hear about it. And what happens next is he turns around, and he's just, they're talking, and she's saying, look, let's just forget about it. We'll, whatever. He's looking out over towards the cliff area, and he feels a shove from behind. And he turns around, and he says to her, what the hell was that? And it felt to him that she tried to push him towards the edge. And he turns around, and he says to her, what are you doing? And she starts screaming. However he said it, help, help, help. She starts screaming. And she's backing away after pushing him, and she's yelling, help, help, help. She's not saying he's hitting me, he's killing me, or anything like that. You'll hear from the witnesses. They thought somebody fell off the cliff. And he's turning around, he's saying, what are you doing? Why did you push me? And he's walking towards her, and she's yelling, help, help. And he puts his hands on her to calm her down, and she starts swinging. She starts kicking, he's grabbing her, ends up on the ground. This scuffle was unplanned, unexpected, and escalated quickly. They're on the ground. I described what happened. She's punching him, she's kicking him, he's on top of her trying to stop, hits him, she tries to grab that arm, hits him with the other arm, kicking him, she picks up the rock and hits him with the rock on the side of his head. And she tries to hit him again, he stops, he gets the rock, and in a split second, human reaction, under attack, he hits her with the rock. It was a reflex, it was a reaction, it was in response to the force that he had just experienced. But he stops. Because the hit made her stop. And as soon as she stopped, he stopped. It was about this time these two witnesses got there. One of them doesn't even see him hit her at all. The other will tell you, she saw one hit. They got there, they said when they heard it, they came around the corner, and by then he was standing, and he had the rock, and he didn't hit her. They saw the very tail end of this. They don't know how it started. They didn't see who started it. They got there at the very end. He hit her once, and he stopped. After that, the witnesses are there. She's yelling out to them. She crawls down to them, and you hear from them. He stands there. He doesn't come after her. He doesn't aggress towards them. He doesn't yell at them. He doesn't try to grab her and continue to throw her off. She had stopped assaulting him. He had backed away. And he saw that she was okay. He saw that she was talking and yelling to the witnesses. He saw that. And they make their way down the trail. Now, the ambulance comes. There's a lot of blood because you'll hear that part of the head. The scalp, it bleeds a lot. They take her to Queens, and you'll hear when they get there, because she was not in any type of critical condition, she never lost consciousness or anything like that. The ambulance has to wait outside for 20 to 30 minutes or more because of triage, because there's more serious patients. So they're sitting in the ambulance waiting, okay? She eventually tells the police detective that he wanted her to take a selfie. She didn't want to. And he said, I'm sick of this shit. And he grabbed her, tried to throw her off the cliff, picked up, had some syringes, which apparently she says she can just flick out of his hand. And then she tells the detective, he beats her with the rock 10 times with all his might. Over and over and over and over again. I know that wasn't 10, but you get the point, okay? Over and over again. She says 10 times with all his might. He beats her with the rock. You will see photos of it. You will hear from the medical experts in this case. 2 from Queens, and we have a forensic pathologist who will talk to you about that. The physical injuries, while the laceration is significant, is inconsistent with being hit in your head 10 times with all your might. She had no skull fractures, no brain bleeds, no orbital fractures. She never lost consciousness. The 2 doctors said there was no substantial risk of death. They said that it wasn't serious bodily injury. And she went home the next day. I'll be the first to tell you, the photos you're going to see are graphic. There is a bad laceration from the hit from the rock. You'll see it. You'll see it. There is a bad laceration. But you'll hear, medically speaking, from the medical doctors in this case, it's not as bad as it looks. You're going to see there's blood everywhere because you'll hear that area, a lot of blood vessels, there's blood everywhere. She never loses consciousness, no risk of death from the injuries, stitched up, went home the next day. And it was a rock. He hit her with a rock in response to her hitting him. So, meanwhile, Gerhardt's up on the mountain. And this is important. Okay, you're going to hear a lot of evidence from him, what was happening, going through his mind. This is, like I said, the evidence will show this is a human story. Okay, human story. He's stunned about what happened. He's in shock. He doesn't go after them. They go down. And he immediately goes into almost a despondent state. He realizes his marriage is over. He realizes she's yelling to them, call the police, he's trying to kill me. He realizes his career could very well be over. He saw that she was hurt. And you hear, he was disappointed, he was remorseful, he was upset about the whole incident. He never wanted it to come to that. He never wanted her to be hurt. And he was disappointed in himself that he reacted that way, the way he did. He was remorseful that he reacted when in that split second. And he went into a deep state of depression, sadness, disappointment, to a place where he became suicidal. And they're going to say the evidence shows his consciousness of guilt that he stayed on the mountain. The evidence will show, it shows that he was human, dealing with this, what just happened, realizing he could lose everything, and his marriage is over. So he stayed up on the mountain, and he was suicidal. He was going back and forth between jumping off the cliff and not thinking about his kids. And the one person he wanted to talk to was his 19-year-old son, Emil. His son. not Miss Konig's. And he calls Emil, and you'll hear. It was an incredibly emotional phone call. He was calling him to say goodbye. He was calling him to tell him he was sorry. He was calling him to tell him that he wished he was a better man. And he'll tell you, he feels terrible about putting his son in that position. He'll tell you he never should have done that, but that was the emotional state he was in at the time. He never in that conversation confessed about my goal was to kill your mom, but she got away. He never said that. He talked about what happened. He talked about how he hurt her. He never said that, those things. Not that way. Not that way. Emil tries to talk to him. Dad, don't kill yourself. A horrible situation for a boy that age to be in. But it made him think. He stayed up there longer. Finally, before the sun set, he decides, okay, I gotta come down. It's time to just come down and deal with this. He had worked through some of those emotions. He said, I'm gonna come down and just deal with this. So he comes down while the sun is still out onto the main road where the cops are. Not trying to escape by coming down to the main road where all the cops are. Not waiting till it's dark. Comes down. He's been up there processing everything that just happened, going through his emotional phases related to it, and now he comes down. And the cops grab him, and they think he's fleeing, so they grab him, and he's he's a little they apprehend him. They apprehend him. He'll tell you he feels awful that she got hurt, and you'll see it. I'm telling you, there's blood everywhere. There's a big gash. There was just one, maybe two hits with the rock, and then that's it. That's it. Medically speaking, not that bad. Visually, the photographs look horrible. Just letting you know. But you hear from the doctors. It was not life-threatening. It was not serious bodily injury. They stitched her up. 3 days later, she leaves the hospital. 3 days later, she logs on. He mentioned it. She gets an attorney within a day or two. Someone who's attorney specializing in criminal defense, TROs, things like that. He gets an attorney. She gets an attorney. 3 days after this incident, she goes onto their joint accounts, moves 130 grand. It's primarily his money without his permission. She's in touch with her attorney. They file a restraining order against him. The hearing's coming up. She knows she has to take the stand, testify under oath. Instead of take the stand, testify under oath, be cross-examined, she dismisses the restraining order against him. Shortly thereafter, you'll hear that she files for divorce. And you hear how even as recently as last week, her and her attorney that she signed off on this files something saying, because he attempted to kill me, I should get full custody of the kids, I should get the house, I should get half his retirement and keep mine. Things that she would never get absent these allegations. Just last week. Digital forensics. They got good guys that work there. They went through his entire computer, every last search. They were looking for searches like kill, wife, dangerous, hike. They didn't find any of that. They didn't find anything of that. He was looking into infidelity and things like that. He was trying to process it. You'll see how she was as well, listening to audio books about affairs and things like that. Ladies and gentlemen, I ask that you wait till you hear everything. Even the law on self-defense. Even the law on self-defense that you'll learn at the end. I ask you to keep an open mind. He never wanted her to get hurt. He feels terrible about that. He's disappointed in himself. He had a human reaction, a human reflex to her hitting him with the rock. And then he stopped. And then because of the person that he was so disappointed that he went into this state of depression, suicidal thoughts. And that's why he was on the mountain. This is going to be a complex, long human story. It's also, the evidence will show, going to be a sad one for everyone involved. For Ms. Konig, their kids, and for Gerhardt. But it's not a simple story. The evidence will show it's not so simple of she had an affair, therefore he had a motive to kill her. The evidence will show human life, human emotions, human interactions are often much more complex than that. So I ask that you keep an open mind, listen to this entire human story, use your logic, reason, and common sense. She said he was trying to load the syringe in the middle of the fight. The evidence will show if he had a plan to use syringes, you think he might have it loaded ahead of time. They mentioned the things that were missing, the syringes. The evidence will show the rock is found right there, right there. The evidence will show if somebody's going to hide evidence, they'd hide all of it. There was no syringes on the mountain, no attempt to throw him off a cliff. The witnesses got there at the very end. They did not see who started it or how it started. I thank you for your time this morning. I thank you for keeping an open mind, as we know you will. As you now know, there are two sides to this story. And it'd be your job at the end to use your reason, logic, and common sense and see which one makes more sense. Was this about not being willing to take a selfie? Or was this about a lot more? Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Otake. Ladies and gentlemen, let's take our first morning recess. Let's take a 10-minute recess. Ms. McCallum will collect you just after 10:40, and we'll come back into the courtroom. We'll begin the presentation of evidence. All right. Ms. Young, you can leave the jury out. Okay, counsel, 5-minute recess.
Do we maybe take 10? Thank you.
You are muted.
Those was superseding state law. And they were right. In one respect, that at least one provision of the Constitution.
Okay, we are on a 10-minute break right now. What do you think about the beginning of this trial? I think this is one of the better courts that we've had actual sound, and the attorneys and judge knows how to use a mic. I think this is going to be a really interesting case with the way they presented their opening statements. Right now, we have a poll going on who gave the best opening statement. Please participate. I was kind of hoping Ada would be able to come in for a minute, because I'm kind of lost at words right now. So I'd like to welcome Tammy, I think is how she says it, 6582 to our channel. I hope you enjoy our channel and stays with us. Um, and we understand she's from that area. So welcome to AdaKay Media. Um, Make sure we were doing the highlights. I share and I subs for end of the month gift card. And I did make a mistake. It is not a $50 gift card. It is a $25 gift card for the I like, I share, I sub. And it's a $25 gift card for the if you become a member and you win that drawing. So I do apologize for the mistake. Um, Please be nice to me. I'm just the mod boss, and I don't have all this down yet, but I'm trying. And I hope you all join me in Angela next week for subbing, standing in for the wonderful Ada K. Uh, and we have and her trust in us being able to keep her channel going. Oh, yeah. Um, and I know while she's moving, if she needs to take a break, she will pop in and say hi to y'all. So she's not deserting y'all completely. But she does have things she does have to get done, and we were willing to help, jump in and help her out. So let's wish her all the luck that she gets everything done with by, unfortunately, April Fool's Day, which is the 1st of April. So how's your weather? Is it getting warmer? Is it getting hotter? Right now, we've been like in the high 80s, low 90s. Um, and this is only the first week of spring. So I wonder what summer's going to bring. Well, that actually rhymed. So I'm going to go ahead and uh, mute for a little bit, put a little bit of music on. They might be coming back. Um, and when they come back, we will um, we will get back to it. So enjoy, grab yourself a cup of coffee, iced tea, root beer, whatever drink you choose to drink this time of evening, and come in and join us. Oh, wow. Is that on your island?
for the please.
You do solemnly swear or affirm that the testimony you're about to give should be the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth? Yes.
Please have a seat.
Whenever you're ready, Mr. Brown.
Good morning.
Hi, good morning.
Okay, first things first, can you please state your name?
Amanda Morris.
And Miss Morris, what do you do for work?
I'm an adult ICU nurse
Where is that?
at Kapiolani Hospital.
All right, jumping right into it, Miss Morris, I'm going to ask you about an incident from March 24th, 2025, around 10:20 a.m. Do you remember that incident?
Yes.
Where were you at that date and time?
I was at the Poly Outlook about to do the Poly Puka hike with a friend of mine.
And who was the friend you were with?
Her name is Sarah.
And what trail were you guys hiking?
The Poly Puka trail.
Can you describe the Poly Puka trail?
Yeah, it's pretty steep when you start. It's pretty wooded. You kind of get up to a clearing that has a ridge that kind of drops off. If you keep going up, there's a little hole in the rock.
It's the whole of Puka.
Yes.
Had you ever done the hike before March 24th, 2025?
Yes, I have.
About how many times?
Maybe a handful.
And you mentioned somebody named Sarah. Who is Sarah?
Sarah's one of my friends.
Where's she from?
She's from Canada.
All right. On that date, March 24th, 2025, did you make it all the way up to the Puka?
No, we did not.
Then can you tell us a bit about if there's any hazards to the trail?
It can be pretty hazardous. Whenever you get up to the ridge, it's pretty narrow, and it has a sheer drop off.
Okay. Using town and windward side as directions, which side is the drop off?
The windward side.
Okay. And what's on the town side?
Kind of brushy. I've never tried to get down. It's not hard.
All right, and just to be sure, is the Poly Lookout and the Poly Puka Trail both on the island of Oahu?
Yes.
So what happened when you and Sarah started hiking up the trail?
We were a couple minutes in, maybe midway between the start of the trail and kind of where the ridge is at. We started hearing someone scream for help over and over again.
What was the person screaming?
Just help me, help me, help me.
Were you able to recognize the gender of the voice you heard?
Yes, it was female.
So you hear a woman's voice screaming, help, help me. What did you think?
We thought somebody had fallen. It's not uncommon for someone to fall because of the ridge being so steep and narrow.
How big is the cliff there?
I don't have an exact number, but it's pretty far down.
So when you and Sarah heard this screaming, what did you do?
We quickly got to the top just because we were worried someone was in danger.
And when you got to the top, can you describe the area you got to?
Yeah, whenever we got to the top, we could immediately see kind of over into the valley, and that leads to the left, which is the little trail.
And okay, so you get up to the ridge, up to this part of the trail. Do you see anybody up there?
Yes, whenever we turned the corner to the left, we saw a man and a woman.
Okay. What was the position of the woman?
She was laying on her back.
What was the position of the man?
He was on top of her.
Okay, when you first got there, did you see the man doing anything?
Yes, he was hitting her with a rock.
Can you describe the area of the trail where you saw the woman on her back and the man hitting her with the rock?
So whenever you kind of turn the corner from like a little ridge section, there's like a little grassy area where you can kind of overlook into the valley.
When we say overlook, what are we overlooking?
Just a steep drop off into the windward side.
And you said you saw the man hitting the woman with a rock. Do you know where he hit her?
Looked like in the head.
What was the man wearing?
It was like a light whitish gray shirt and blue shorts.
If you were to see that man again, would you be able to recognize him?
Yes.
Could you please take a look around the whole courtroom? And if you see the male that you saw on that day hitting the woman with the rock, could you point him out and let us know an article of clothing he's wearing?
Yes, this gentleman in the blue.
Sorry?
Gentleman in the blue.
Okay. Your Honor, let the record reflect the witness has identified the defendant.
The record will reflect identification of him.
Okay. Amanda, after you get up to this area, you see the man hitting the woman with the rock. Was the woman saying anything at that point?
She was saying, help me, he's trying to kill me.
After the woman said, help me, he's trying to kill me, what did the defendant do?
They both saw us and he stopped and stood up.
Did the defendant say anything?
No.
Okay. Amanda, could you clarify the chronological, the timeline order, the three different things you told us this morning? The three different things, hearing the woman say, he's trying to kill me, hearing the woman screaming, help me, and seeing the defendant hit a woman with a rock. Could you put that into order for us?
Yes, we were hiking up the trail. We heard her screaming, help me, help me. We got up to the top, and whenever we first saw them, he was hitting her, and they both noticed us, and she said, help me, he's trying to kill me.
After the woman said, help me, he's trying to kill me, how did you and Sarah react?
We started to take steps back just because we were pretty close to the edge and we were afraid that something could happen to us and that we were in danger.
Sorry. Ms. Morris, can you maybe drag the microphone a little bit close to your mouth as well? Thank you. Okay. And if we could get that answer one more time. So I'll ask the same question. After the woman said, he's trying to kill me, how did you and Sarah react?
Sarah and I started to take a couple steps back because we were a little afraid for our own safety since we were kind of close to the edge.
Once you two stepped back, or where did you and Sarah step back to?
Maybe 5 or so feet back, and we kind of turned a little bit of a corner, and that's when Sarah started to call 911.
Once you stepped back and went around the corner, did the woman say anything?
She said, please don't leave me, he's trying to kill me.
Did you and Sarah respond?
Yes, we said we're not leaving, we're just taking a step back for our own safety. We are calling 911.
Other than asking you to call 911, at that point in time, did the woman say anything else?
No.
When was the next time you saw the woman?
Shortly after, she was crawling towards us.
Can you describe how she was doing that?
On her stomach and hands and knees.
So, and then what was Sarah doing as the woman was crawling to you?
She was calling 911.
Okay. Was the woman able to actually get to you?
Yes.
Where did the three of you go after the woman was able to get to you?
We started going back down the trail.
Was she able to walk on her own?
No, she was not.
Can you describe for everybody how you how the three of you got down the trail?
Yeah, I asked her if she could stand and she was not able to, so she was able to turn over onto her bottom and scoot herself down.
Did the defendant follow you?
No.
Do you know what the defendant did or where he went after you, Sarah, and the defendant went down the trail?
No, after we backed up, we couldn't see him anymore.
When you got to the bottom, the trailhead, then what did you do?
A police officer was there and he climbed over the wall, met us, asking us if the gentleman was coming down with us and if she was okay.
How far away were you from the defendant when you saw him up at the top of the trail?
Maybe 10 or 15 feet.
And were you able to get a good look at the woman?
I was, but she was covered in blood.
You say that, it's gonna sound like a dumb question next. Did she have any injuries?
Yes.
And what were those injuries like?
Pretty big gashes on the side of her head.
I'm going to approach the witness with what's been marked as State's Exhibit 1, which has previously been shown to defense counsel. I approach. You may. Ms. Morse, without showing the jury yet, do you recognize what I've just handed you?
Yes,
What is this?
that is the injuries that we saw on the woman coming down from the mountain.
Does this photo fairly and accurately depict the woman's injuries as you observed them on March 24th, 2025?
Yes.
At this point, the state moves to enter Exhibit 1 into evidence.
No objection. With a mark for identification of State's Exhibit 1 received into evidence.
Does the state have permission to publish?
Granted.
Right. Amanda, can you, using this exhibit that you have, show us where you saw the gashes on the woman's head?
Yes, they're on the side right here.
So if you could answer it into the microphone.
Oh, I'm so sorry. They're on the side of her head right here. You can see them.
Ms. Morris, whenever you step down, there is actually a pointer on the rail right behind the television. That might help. It's right up here.
Oh, this one.
Yes.
These gashes.
Thanks for pointing that out. Ms. Morris, do you know this woman's name?
Yes.
Who's the woman shown here in Exhibit 1?
Ariel.
Ariel.
Mm-hmm.
Thank you. I have no further questions.
Thanks for talking. Crossing definition.
Good morning, Miss Morris.
Good morning.
I'm going to ask you to keep your voice up.
Okay.
It's a little hard to hear, speaking to the mic. My name is Thomas Otaki. I'm the attorney for Dr. Konig. I just have a few follow-up questions for you. You mentioned that you've done this hike a handful of times before this March 24th date. Is that correct?
Yes.
And so you went on it, I guess, in initial time, and then you felt, you liked it, and then you went back and did it a couple other times, correct?
Yes.
Okay. So it wasn't the type of hike where, you went on it once and was like, oh, it's too dangerous, I'm never going to go again. You went back and you're back again on this March 24th hike, yes?
Yes.
Okay. Now, because you've gone on this hike multiple times, you're familiar with the parking lot area, yes?
Yes.
And the hike trail shares a parking lot with the parking lot for the Pully Lookout, correct?
Yes.
And in your experience, that parking lot is often filled with tourist cars, rental cars, and people, correct?
Yes.
Okay. Can you always find parking?
Yes.
Okay, but there's often tourists going to the lookout and tour buses that share the same parking lot as the trailhead, correct?
Yes.
All right. Now, when you arrived there on the date of the incident, it was mid-morning, maybe a little after 10 a.m. Is that right?
Yes.
You mentioned starting off on the trail and then hearing some yelling, correct?
Yes.
And at that time, you were about 5 minutes into the hike, correct?
Yes.
Okay. So 5 minutes in walking from this parking lot that has the tour buses, the people, and rental cars, correct?
Yes.
You mentioned the trail, it can be pretty narrow, hazardous, but there's places it's hazardous and there's places it's not as hazardous, correct?
Yes.
Okay. You said that you heard this yelling and you guys tried to get there quickly, yes?
Yes.
Because you thought somebody had fallen off a cliff, right?
Yes.
In other words, you didn't think at the time somebody was being attacked because they weren't yelling, help, help, he's hitting me, he's killing me. They just were yelling and you thought they had fallen off a cliff, correct?
Yes.
You guys get there quickly and your friend Sarah Bosch, how do you say her last name? Bosch?
Brooksbaum?
Bushbaum? Okay. We'll call her Sarah. So your friend Sarah is with you, yes?
Yes.
And she was kind of going up, when you guys heard it, you guys kind of quickly went up together, correct?
Yes.
And she was kind of like right by you when you guys got there, right?
Yeah, she was right behind me.
Right back, yes. You indicated that you see a man, women on her back, a man on top, and you indicate you see him hitting her with a rock, but you only saw him hit her one time, correct?
Yes.
Back away. Was it you or Sarah who called 911? Sarah, right?
Sarah.
And then the female that you've come to know is Ariel. She starts crawling down to you guys, correct?
Yes.
And even as you backed away, she was talking or yelling out to you guys, don't leave, right?
Yes.
Okay. And he was, at the time, at least when you had backed away, Gerhardt was still there, yes?
He was
at the time you saw the,
yes,
before you backed away, correct?
Mm-hmm.
And then right after that, you heard her yelling, wait, or like, don't leave, or something like that, correct?
Yes.
Okay. And Gerhardt doesn't say anything to you guys, correct?
Correct.
And he doesn't, from what you saw, he doesn't come down and try to stop Miss Konig from crawling away, did he?
No.
He let her crawl down to where you guys were, yes?
Yes.
Okay. And he didn't get aggressive with you guys at all, or yell at you, anything like, get the F out of here. He didn't communicate with you at all, correct?
Correct.
And as she was crawling down to you, he doesn't come back and kick her or hit her with the rock again. He lets her get back to where you guys are, right? Or get to where you guys are, right?
Yes.
You're in ICU nurse, is that right?
Yes.
Okay. During the time period you were assisting Miss Konig, she did not lose consciousness, correct?
Correct.
She was awake and alive and scooting to you, yelling out to you guys, correct?
Yes.
Initially, you indicated she could not walk, but when you guys got to the bottom by the trailhead, she stood up and walked towards the wall, correct?
No, she scooted towards the wall and onto the wall, and we helped her down from the wall.
Okay. Your Honor, I'd like to, Defense Exhibit 177 is a body cam video of one of the officers. If we would seeing the police officer's body cam videos of when the three of you guys are coming off the trailhead help you refresh your memory as to whether she stood up and walked down?
Yes.
Okay. Your Honor, I apologize. I wasn't able to have, I wasn't able to show it to her ahead of time. Is there a stipulate to the showing the? Do you have it on a smaller of an iPad? We can. If we could take 1 sec, I apologize. Or just on a computer, our laptop. Sure. Can we approach and show her? Okay. And with no audio. Okay. Mr. Darcy is going to come show you the video. Okay. And just watch it to yourself, and then I'm going to ask you a question after when you're done. Okay, has your memory been refreshed?
Yes, thank you.
So when I know it's been a while, so when you guys got towards the bottom, she did stand up and walk towards the wall before she got down, correct?
Yes.
All right. And ma'am, You never saw any vials or syringes. Ask that wrong way. Did you see any vials or syringes?
No, I did not.
And ma'am, you did not see how the incident started, correct?
Correct.
You did not see who started it, correct?
Correct.
You did not see the whole incident, correct?
Yes.
All right. Thank you for your time, Ms. Mars. Have a good day. Any redirect? Yes, please.
Ms. Morris, in that video that Mr. Dirks just showed you, was Ariel able to walk on her own?
No.
She wasn't?
No.
How was she able to walk?
Sarah and I were on each side of her, helping her.
How were you and Sarah helping her walk?
She was kind of we were holding on to her.
Was Ariel able to walk under her own power?
No.
Objection, calls for speculation.
Was Ariel able to walk under her own power?
No.
A couple other things I want to follow up on. You described to us, we were talking that Sarah was right behind you.
Yes.
Okay, is that when you guys, or when was Sarah right behind you?
Whenever we got up to the top.
Okay, so in order of who got to see the defendant and Ariel first, who got to see her first?
I did.
Okay. And last thing, Mr. Rafaki asked you about the rest of the trail. What's the rest of the Palipuka Trail like? Last thing, Mr. Rafaki asked you about the rest of the trail. You were asked if you hiked the whole trail before, is that right?
Yeah.
Okay. Can you describe what the trail is like above where you saw the defendant and Ariel?
It's a pretty narrow ridge to get to the rest of the puka.
Is it more exposed to the cliff or less exposed up there?
I'd say more.
Is it more dangerous or less dangerous the closer you get to the puka?
More dangerous.
Thank you.
Very briefly, Aaron. Okay, ma'am, you asked about her walking. There was a time when you got to the bottom, you saw the video where she stood up and the two of you was side by side, and she was walking on her own legs as you guys are on the side of her, right? Correct?
Yes.
And you're an ICU nurse, right?
Mm-hmm.
You didn't, neither of you let her go and tried to let her walk on her own because you thought she might fall, right?
Correct.
Okay. So you didn't try, so you don't know if she could have walked on her own or not, correct?
Correct.
All right. Thank you.
Thank you very much. Thank you. Watch that first step. Mr. Barney, please, thank you.
The state holds Sarah Bucks Swan's percent. I could have just a moment.
Okay.
Raise your hand, please.
Right here. You can solemnly swear or affirm that the testimony you're about to give will be the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth.
Please have a seat.
Good morning. First of all, before asking any other questions, can you pull the microphone as close to your face as possible? And as we go through the questions, can you speak into the microphone as much as possible?
Okay.
Okay. Can you please state your name?
Sarah Buxbaum.
Right. Miss Sarah, where are you from?
I'm from Vancouver, Canada.
And what do you do for work?
I'm a registered nurse.
All right. Jumping right into it, I'm going to ask you about an incident from March 24, 2025. Do you remember that incident?
Yes.
On March 24, 2025, around 10 a.m., where were you?
On the Polypuka hike.
Is the Polypuka hike on the island of Oahu?
Yes.
What were you doing on Oahu in March 2025?
I was here on vacation.
How long were you staying?
About 2 weeks.
When were you scheduled to leave?
I was scheduled to leave that night, actually.
Okay, so you're leaving the night of March 24th, 2025. Yes. Was anybody up with you at the Polypuka on March 24th of last year?
My friend Amanda.
What were you and Amanda planning to do up there?
Just hike.
Okay. And what hike were you going to do?
The Polypuka hike.
What time did you start the Polypuka hike?
At 10:24.
So 10:24 a.m.
Mm-hmm.
Had you ever been on that hike?
Sorry. Yes.
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 Sorry. Had you ever been on that hike before?
Yes.
How far into the hike did you get that day?
Approximately like 4 or 5 minutes in.
Can you describe the beginning section of the trail?
The beginning section is a bit of a bamboo forest where you're just uphill with dirt. And then once you're about 4-ish minutes in, you get to the clearing of the ridgeline.
Got it. And what happened as you and Amanda were hiking up the trail?
We started hearing a woman screaming for help.
You said it was a woman screaming?
Yeah, it was a woman desperately screaming for help.
What was she screaming?
Help, help, help.
When you heard the woman screaming, help, 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 what did you think?
We initially thought it was someone falling off the edge of the cliff. So we started running in the direction of the screaming.
And once you heard the woman screaming, help, 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 where did you go on the trail?
Initially, we were still in that beginning part. So we went up and then we hit the ridgeline and then we went a little bit along the ridgeline and came across like a corner. And then that's when we saw the defendant.
Okay. So can you describe, first of all, what you saw when you turned that corner on the ridgeline?
We saw a man, which was unexpected because we had been hearing a woman screaming, and stopped.
What position was the man in?
He was facing the ridge, sort of standing but crouched a bit.
Did you see anybody else there initially?
Initially, I didn't.
Okay. Did you see anybody else there eventually?
Yes.
Who else did you see?
I saw Ariel.
What position was Ariel in?
When I saw her, she was on her stomach crawling towards us.
Now, how close was the man to the edge?
Fairly close.
Okay. And what was over the edge of the trail?
Nothing. It's just ridge and then drop down.
Got it. Okay, so a drop.
Yeah, a big drop.
Did the man have anything in his hands?
He had a rock.
If you were to see the man again, would you be able to recognize him?
Yes.
If he's in the courtroom today, could you point him out and let us know an article of clothing he's wearing?
He's wearing the blue shirt.
Okay. And Your Honor, may the record reflect the witness has identified the defendant.
Record reflect identification is made.
Can you describe the condition of the woman as you saw her?
Her face was covered in blood. Her head was covered in. She was just fully covered in blood.
Did the woman say anything?
She screamed, "Help! He's trying to kill me! Call 911."
Okay. What was the position of the defendant and the woman when she screamed, "Help! He's trying to kill me"?
He was standing above her.
And where was she?
She was laying on her stomach.
After the woman said, "Help, he's trying to kill me," what did you do?
We initially backed up a bit because we were right on the edge and we didn't want to get attacked. So we backed up so we were in a safer area. And as we were backing up, I was calling 911 and Amanda was yelling at her saying that we were calling for help.
In that 911 call, what were you telling the dispatcher?
What we had just seen, that we saw a woman said that she was being attacked.
I'm sorry, Sarah. I think I asked that question. When you were making that 911 call, were you describing what you were seeing as you saw it or immediately after?
Immediately after.
Okay. I'm going to approach now with this one marked as State's Exhibit 3, previously provided to defense counsel. Okay, Sarah, I've handed you what's been marked as State's Exhibit number 3. Do you recognize what I've handed you?
Yes.
What is this?
This is a recording of the 911 call.
Did you review what's on this disc?
Yes.
What is on the disc? I'm sorry, you've already answered that. Is the recording of the 911 call on that disc a true and accurate recording of what you described to the 911 operator on March 24th, 2025?
Yes.
After you reviewed the disc, what did you do with it?
I signed it and then they put it back and then they took it away.
Okay. Is that the same disc you reviewed?
Yes.
Is that your signature on the disc?
Yes.
Okay. At this point, the state will move Exhibit 3 into evidence.
No objection. Was it marked for identification as State's Exhibit 3 is received into evidence?
Okay, and Sarah, if you can bear with me for a moment, I'm going to publish State's Exhibit 3.
And ladies and gentlemen,
Sorry.
go ahead, publish.
Okay.
Hi, what's currently being attacked on the top of Polly Puka? Where? There's a man trying to kill her. She's blood all over her face. Where is this at? Polly Puka, the hike at the lookout. Okay, so Polly lookout. She's on the Polly Puka hike, and he's currently attacking her. Okay, where, how far is the hike? Or is it the entrance? Where? We're probably like 5 minutes into the hike. Really quick. Okay, what are you seeing? We heard her screaming, help, help, help me, and then we saw a man over her, and then she crawled out with blood over her face, saying that he's trying to kill her. Did she know him? I don't know. Okay, where is he at? What is he wearing? He was in a t-shirt, white. He had brownish, sort of curly hair, Asian, Caucasian, Hawaiian, white guy. Yeah, white guy. And then what kind of shirt? T-shirt, maybe. I'm sorry, shorts. Pardon? What kind of shorts? I didn't see. She's wearing shorts though. Okay, and did he walk away from her? We sort of, no, he was not. We walked away because we didn't want him to attack us. Okay, so he's still there. Yeah, they were both hiking. And the gal, was she Caucasian? What is she wearing? It was hard to say. She was covered in blood and she was crawling. Okay, and then, so she's 5 minutes in. The man is here. The girl is here. She's wearing a purple tank top. She's okay. She's covered in blood. She's near us though. Does she have a weapon? Did he have a weapon? He didn't have a weapon. Okay, it's a rock. Yeah, he was hitting her with a rock. Okay, is this the Polly lookout? Is that the one on the town side going towards, or is it on the Kailua side? The Polly lookout. We need an ambulance, but it's on the town side. There was an accident. The police were actually really close to the entrance because there was an accident. Okay, that helps me. Okay, and then what is your name? Sarah. Okay, we'll send somebody out there just to go for the officer and I'll get the ambulance. We'll definitely need an ambulance. Okay. Thank you. You okay?
Okay. After you made that 911 call, Sarah, what did you and Amanda do next?
We hiked down with Ariel.
Can you describe for us what it was like hiking down that trail with Ariel?
She wasn't able to walk, so she scooted down on her bum. Initially, she was behind us. At one point, she asked if she could just be in the middle because she wasn't sure if he was going to come back and attack her. So Amanda was in the front, Ariel was in the middle, I was at the end, and I was just looking around to see if he was going to come back or not.
Were you able to successfully get down to the bottom of the trail?
Yes.
Did the defendant follow you at all?
No.
When you were up on the trail, when you initially got to that clearing and saw the defendant, were you able to get a good look at him?
Yes.
Did you make eye contact?
Yes.
How long did you make eye contact with the defendant for?
Approximately 30 seconds.
Can you describe seeing the defendant's eyes?
It's like a cold, emotionless stare.
How did you feel as you made eye contact with the defendant?
I felt very uneasy.
Thank you very much.
Thanks.
No further questions. Cross-examination.
Good morning, Ms. Bushbaum.
Hi.
You indicated 30 seconds, cold stare, looking into his eyes for 30 seconds, uneasy feeling you had, correct?
Yes.
Good look at him, yes?
Yes.
Okay. Isn't it true later that same day when the detective showed you a photo lineup that you initially picked the wrong person out of the photo lineup?
That was the next day.
Oh, I'm sorry. Okay, I apologize. The next day, you
yes.
picked the wrong person out of the photo lineup initially, correct?
Initially, because...
That's just my question. Okay. Did you pick the wrong person out of the photo lineup initially?
Yes.
And then when the detective said, keep going, then you said, oh, wait, that's him later, correct?
When I saw his eyes, yes.
Yeah. Well, number two, who you picked, you saw the eyes, correct?
They had stated that it could be like an older photo of him and he could look different.
I'm just asking you, when you looked at photo number two and said that was the person, you could see that person's eyes in the photo, yes?
Yes.
Okay, ma'am, you live in Canada?
Yes.
All right. The prosecutors flew you in to testify today, yes?
Yes.
And this was not the first time doing this hike, was it?
No.
And you had gone on the hike before, correct?
Correct.
And you felt the hike was safe enough for you and your friend to go again, yes?
Correct.
I wanted to just ask you just more out of curiosity, you indicated you started the hike at 10:24?
Correct.
That's pretty specific. Did you have like a...
Amanda had started exercise on her
Okay.
watch.
Okay, got it. So that's helpful. So,
Yeah.
and you guys went back and looked at the watch when it was started,
Yes.
and it showed 10:24.
Yes.
Okay, that's very helpful. So you guys started the hike at 10:24 a.m. on March 24th, correct?
Correct.
All right. 10:24 a.m. The parking lot shares a parking lot with Poly Lookout, yes?
Correct.
As you indicated, you guys were just about 4 minutes into the hike, correct?
Correct.
And in fact, on the 911 call, we can hear you saying, oh, we're really quick in, just about 5 minutes in, yes?
Correct.
So when you heard this, you were just about 4 to 5 minutes in from the busy parking lot where the tourists park to go to Poly Lookout, correct?
Correct.
You heard the yelling, you ran towards it quickly, and when you show up, you said your friend was in front of you?
Correct.
But you were right behind her, yes?
Yes.
Okay. And in fact, you didn't see the man hit the female, correct?
Correct.
Okay. Back away And you called 911, yes?
Correct.
That was your voice on it?
Correct.
Okay. And you mentioned at some point she starts kind of crawling towards you, is that right?
Yes.
Okay. When you guys backed away and she was crawling towards you, the man that you saw, he didn't continue to, he didn't run after or attack the lady at that point, correct?
No, correct.
Okay. And he wasn't aggressive towards you in any way?
Correct.
And from when you were interacting with the female, she did not lose consciousness, correct?
Correct.
You mentioned her crawling down. At the very end, when you got towards the wall, she stood up and you guys kind of helped and she walked towards the wall, correct?
Yeah, there was myself, Amanda, and I believe an officer that were trying to help get her down the wall. Yeah.
And well, before you got to the wall, she stood up and walked towards the wall, yes?
With us supporting her.
Right. Right?
Yes.
Okay. And you did not get a good look at the rock that was in his hand, correct?
No, probably saw it briefly.
Okay. And I'm sorry, I should ask this. I mean, how do you pronounce your last name? Is it
Buxbaum. Buxbaum?
Buxbaum?
Buxbaum, yeah.
Miss Buxbaum, you did not see how the incident started, correct?
Correct.
And you did not see who started the incident, correct?
Correct.
Okay. And you did not, by the time you got there, you didn't even see anybody hit anybody, correct?
Correct.
Okay. And you never saw a vial or a syringe, correct?
Correct.
Okay, thank you, ma'am. Okay, safe travels. Can you redirect? Yes.
Hi, Sarah.
Hi.
You were asked some questions about a photo lineup,
Correct.
and it sounded like you wanted to say something, but didn't get a chance. So, what did you want to say?
Initially, they had told us that the photos for the photo lineup could be old photos. They could be, he might not look like that currently. So that's why initially I thought maybe it might have looked like him. I wasn't 100% sure. But then when they showed the photo of him, I just had like this feeling within me. Like I saw the eyes and it was immediately, I knew right away. Like I had a gut reaction. I had a body reaction. It was very apparent that was him.
Thank you. No further questions.
Thank you.
But you did initially pick out a different man, right?
Correct.
All right, thank you.
Any other questions, Mr. Warner? No. Thank you very much.
Thank you.
What's that first step?
Okay.
Approach off record. Thank you, counsel. Ladies and gentlemen of the jury, quick 10-minute recess. We'll come back at 11:45 and we'll have a shorter section. We'll go from the 12:30 and we'll take our normal lunch break. Leave your notebooks on the chair. Okay. All rise. Ms. Young, whenever you're ready. Yeah, I just think great. How many people I know in the South? I don't have any idea.
Yeah, because I don't know.
Resume with case number 6, State of Hawaii versus Gerhardt Konig, 1 CPC.25-373 for further jury trial. Dr. Konig is present in court. Also, counsel of record are present. All jurors are back in the courtroom. Ladies and gentlemen of the jury, good afternoon. Welcome back to courtroom 15. I apologize for the miscommunication before our early lunch break. I misunderstood what the attorneys were telling me when I had that bench conference with them. So what I thought was going to be a regular recess ended up being an early lunch recess. So thanks again for your flexibility. The silver lining to the early lunch is with a little bit of luck, we might end a little bit earlier than expected, which means you get an earlier start from the phone in the bad way. So there might be a silver lining to this. So thank you for your flexibility and your patience. Mr. Garner, are you ready with the state's next witness?
Yes, Your Honor. The state calls William Oku III to the stand.
Can you please stand? Raise your right hand.
You do solemnly swear or affirm that the testimony you're about to give will be the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth?
I do.
Have a seat.
Good afternoon.
Good afternoon.
Okay, before we go any further, can you hold the microphone as close to yourself as possible?
All right.
And do your best to speak into the microphone for the rest of your testimony today, okay?
Will do.
Okay. First of all, can you please state your name?
William Oku III.
And what do you do for work?
I'm a Honolulu police officer.
How long have you been employed by HPD?
Just a little over 10 years now.
Were you employed and on duty on March 24th, 2025?
Yes, I was.
What was your assigned unit on that date?
During that time, I was part of the strategic enforcement detail under the homicide detail.
On that date, were you dispatched to the Poly Lookout area?
Yes, I was.
And around what time did you get there?
It was approximately 12:45 p.m.
Was the Poly Lookout in the surrounding area in the city and county of Honolulu, state of Hawaii?
Yes, it is.
In general terms, can you explain what your involvement at the Poly Lookout area was on March 24th, 2025?
Sure, I was assigned to canvass that area.
What is canvassing?
Usually in this case would be you were looking for something in that area, in layman terms.
And in this case, what was the primary thing you were canvassing for?
A suspect.
Okay. Other than the suspect, were you canvassing for anything else?
Oh, no, not at that time.
Can you estimate how many people were involved in the canvassing on March 24th, 2025?
Sure, approximately 5 officers,
okay,
including myself. Yeah.
Is this all officers, or is this a specific unit you're talking about?
Just a specific unit.
Okay, which unit had about 5 officers there?
The strategic enforcement detail.
Were there any other agencies present?
Yes, there was.
Who else was there?
I believe it was DLNR and DoCare.
All right, and did you prepare any diagrams as part of your work on this case?
Yes, I did.
Would those diagrams help explain the rest of your testimony today?
Yes, it will.
Gotcha. All right, I want to approach with what's been marked as States Exhibits 18 through 21, previously shown to defense counsel. Officer Oku, I've had you what's been marked as States Exhibits 18 through 21. Do you recognize what these are?
Yes, I do.
And what are these?
These are the diagrams that I've constructed.
Say you constructed them. Did you prepare them yourself?
I did.
How did you prepare them?
I used this hiking app that I used. I'm not too sure. I recall which one it was, though.
You say it's an app. What device was it on?
On my phone. Or, sorry, excuse me, it was on the computer. I can pull it up.
You said it was a hiking application?
Yes.
What area of the island do these diagrams depict?
This is the Nu'uanu-Pali area.
And then, are you familiar with the Nu'uanu-Pali area yourself?
I am. I've worked there in the Nu'uanu area in the earlier part of my career.
And are you familiar with the specific areas that your diagrams depict?
Yes.
Do these diagrams reasonably depict the Poly Lookout area and the Polypuka Trail area on March 24, 2025?
That's correct.
At this point, the state moves Exhibits 18 through 21 into evidence.
No.
What is it marked for identification as States Exhibits 18 through 21 inclusive will be received into evidence?
I got you. You can put those diagrams down for now. I'm going to have anything you do be on the big screen next to you. And then if you can see there's a pointer to your right, as I ask you to demonstrate, if you could use that, please.
Okay.
And ladies and gentlemen of the jury, while Mr. Garner is publishing the diagrams, and the exhibits, I should tell you, whatever exhibits are published here in the courtroom, this is not the only time that you get to see them. They will be made available for you. In fact, they'll go into the jury deliberation room with you so you can review them during your deliberations. So this is not the only time that you get to see these exhibits. Please proceed.
Thank you. Okay, I'm going to publish State's Exhibit 18 right now. Officer Oku, could you explain or could you orient us to this diagram?
Yeah.
And if you can step down, if you do step down, could you keep your voice up?
For sure. So this is the diagram that I created, which was the area of the new one, Pali and Pali Lookout Trail.
Where's the Pali Highway on this diagram?
That would be this yellow line here.
Sort of in the central area of the diagram?
Correct.
Where is the Pali Lookout on this diagram?
This is the Pali Lookout here.
Okay. And is on the bottom right?
Correct.
Where is the Pali Puka Trail on this diagram?
That would be this area here, which is a ridge line.
And I know you said you used a computer application, a hiking application to make this. Did you add anything to the diagram?
Specific locations, yes.
Okay. We're going to go through those. I see a red X on the right side of the diagram. What does the red X represent?
Sure, this red X depicts where the scene was.
What does the black star in the central area represent?
This is the black star here, which is along one Pali Drive, I believe, and that is where the suspect was located.
What does the purple area represent on the right side?
This purple area represents the, I guess, area I searched. I conducted a search, and it's just the boundaries.
Got it. Okay, I'm going to keep you standing there. I'm now going to publish State's Exhibit number 19. Okay, Officer Oku, could you orient us to this diagram?
Okay, sure. This is another view of the Pali Lookout area, just closer out.
I see a shaded gray area at the bottom, on the bottom middle right. What is that?
This here. This is the parking lot of the Pali Lookout.
Also, there's a bunch of these horizontal lines on the map. What are those?
These lines here?
Yes.
These are our what they call contour lines. And in a topography map, it represents the, I guess, elevation gain, or if the lines are close together, it represents that the terrain is steeper. If it's further apart, the terrain is usually flat. And in a topography map, it usually just indicates the slopeness of the terrain.
How many vertical feet of elevation are between each line in this diagram?
Approximately, just foundational.
Do you know the amount of vertical feet that are between each line?
About 40 feet.
Well, it's the same objection. I mean, it's just a lack of foundation in terms of who made this map, where that hearsay information is.
State foundation, please.
Officer Oak, are you familiar with topographical maps?
I am.
How do you become familiar with them?
Use it while I hike.
Sorry?
I hike and use it while I hike.
And are you able to determine the elevation difference between each line of the map?
Yes.
How would you do that?
It usually goes by about 40 feet.
Okay. I'm going to go back.
Shall we approach? Sure, come on.
Sounds like we have a sidebar. Thank you guys so much for joining us. This is a very, very interesting trial. I hear myself. Sorry about that, guys. My hearing aids are picking up an echo. Sorry. sorry. That's disconcerting, y'all. I got to tell you. Thank you. If you're new to us, I'm AdaKay. Thank you so much for joining us. We greatly appreciate your time and your viewing our channel and being a part of it.
That comments about
No. I have it in my hearing aids. It's not y'all. It's in my hearing aids. All right, Miss June, you still have the live.
Last testimony about the distance of the lines stricken from the record.
We're gonna move on, officer. Okay. Looking at this purple area on the right side, can you remind us what that was again?
Tornado bears, yes. We got a lot of packing done, let me tell you. They went through like a bull in the china cabinet. Do you have any sound, Miss
in
June?
this area?
That was approximately 4 to 4.5 hours.
What was the terrain like in that area?
It was dangerous. Vegetation was dense and difficult to traverse through.
What was the slope like?
I'm sorry, I didn't hear that last.
The terrain is dangerous and to traverse through.
Okay, thank you.
When you say difficult to traverse through, sorry, tongue tied. When you say the terrain was difficult to traverse through, what made it difficult?
First of all, the steepness of the terrain, the vegetation and growth, and the limited space for you to walk.
Now, you mentioned a bit about dense brush. What was the plant cover like in that area?
It was heavy, but the trail, there's obviously a trail, but to the left and right, it was heavy.
And what was the specific coverage like kind of at the ground level?
It was rock, scree, loose rock, boulders, and plants.
And what was the ground coverage like off of the trail?
A little more dense brush.
Did you have any safety concerns canvassing this area?
I did.
What were those concerns?
Obviously, the safety for myself and other officers, either falling off of the cliff, and also the suspect.
Right. I'm going to move on and publish State's Exhibit number 20. Officer Oku, can you orient us to where this what this diagram is showing?
Sure. This specifically shows the area where I searched on the public lookout.
Okay. Is this the same view or a different view?
It's the same view.
Now, I see the purple area goes above the red star. Can you remind us one more time what the red X is?
Yeah, the red X is the scene.
Okay, and the purple area, it appears to go far above that on the map?
That's correct.
What was the terrain like above the scene?
It became increasingly more dangerous, a little more narrow and exposed.
And for non-hikers, what is exposed?
Sorry, exposed to the cliff face a little more, and obviously the weather.
What was the terrain like an area on the left side of this diagram, on the town side?
The town side, there was a slight decline going down into a heavily forested area.
And what was the... Okay, moving on, last diagram. Publishing State's Exhibit 21. All right. What does this diagram depict?
This is an over-the-top view, like a bird's eye view of the Putney Highway and the Putney Nuwama area.
Yeah. You mentioned Nuwama Road. What is that?
This is the access road that you can access the lookout to.
All right, I'm sorry, I gotta go back just a little bit to State's Exhibit 19. Okay, and I'm actually going to circle an area on the map using the iPad here. What was the terrain like in this area?
Objection, last foundation, that's not an area you can canvass.
Officer Oak, are you familiar with this area?
I am.
Have you ever been there before?
No.
Okay, how do you become familiar with the area?
Well, I can see that area when I'm hiking up and down.
Okay. So what is the, I guess, not the terrain under the trees, what is the general terrain like that you could see?
It's a mountainside with canvas trees and brush.
Okay. All right.
Suspect.
Did you find any additional evidence while canvassing?
No.
Okay, so did you find any syringes?
No.
Did you find a cell phone?
No.
Did you find a wallet?
No.
A purse?
No.
Any vials?
No.
Thank you for your question, or thank you for your answers.
Thank you. Good afternoon, Officer Oku.
Good afternoon.
Thank you for being here. Just a few questions. Now, you indicated that you're familiar with that hike and that parking lot area, is that right?
That's correct.
And is that from your work? Did you used to be on patrol in the Nuuanu area?
During patrol and as well as missing persons detail.
Okay. And then also, had you ever hiked on that hike before this?
I have.
Okay. And it's true then that the parking lot that you access the trailhead for, it's the same parking lot for the Poly Lookout, yes?
Correct.
And in your experience in all these different ways, the Poly Lookout at midday at 10 a.m., it can be pretty crowded, yes?
Absolutely.
Okay. Now, you indicated you canvassed the area, meaning you searched the area, yes?
Yes.
And in addition to searching for a suspect, you were also canvassing for any evidence pertinent to the case, correct?
Oh, that's correct, yes.
Okay. And so not only are you walking around hiking around looking for a suspect, but you're keeping an eye out for evidence as well, yes?
Yes.
Okay. And you said about 4.5 hours, is that right?
Correct, approximately.
Okay. I wanted to ask you, can we pull up exhibit, Your Honor, it's already in evidence, exhibit 20. If you can put it on the screen, please. Mr. Darks will help us with that. Okay. Okay. Does it get bigger than that? Or? Okay. I think everyone can see it. I guess the question I had is, may I approach, Your Honor? Okay. This pink area here?
Yes.
You said that's the area you canvassed?
That's correct.
Did you have like a GPS thing that helped you pinpoint that was the area you canvassed? Or was this kind of more of an estimation?
More of estimation.
Okay. So in other words, you took this map and then kind of estimated how far it is here that way and how far up you went. Is that right?
Correct.
Okay. But no GPS exact pinpointing that these are the areas we canvassed, correct?
Correct.
All right. But your best guess, right? Our best estimate, right?
Yes.
Now, you said that the X is what was reported to you to be the scene, yes?
Correct.
And then you went all the way up higher, correct?
Yes.
And I think you said above the X, when you got higher up, it was more exposed, yes?
That's true, yes.
Meaning exposed to the cliff edge, correct?
Yes.
But you mentioned the lower part where the scene and down that way, down back towards the parking lot, there was heavy vegetation, you mentioned, yes?
Yes.
Okay. I think you mentioned the vegetation was dense, right?
That's correct.
And on the left and the right of the trail, the vegetation was heavy, but there was a trail, yes?
Yes.
Okay. You mentioned as you heading up higher, you had some safety concerns. Is that right?
Mm-hmm.
Did you?
Oh, yes.
Oh, sorry. What were you, how were you attired that day? How were you dressed that day?
I was in the plainclothes capacity, but I still had my ballistic vest on. My badge was around my neck on the lanyard like this. I also had my department issued firearm. And yeah.
Did you have any specialized hiking gear or ropes or pulleys or anything like that?
Nope, I had a backpack with some water.
Okay. So some safety concerns, but not enough where you felt you could do it, right?
Correct.
All right. Thank you. Thank you, officer. No further questions.
Any reader? Yes, please. How familiar were you with that hike, officer?
I've done it a few times.
How far up have you gone?
I've gone to a little bit past the puka.
Since we've asked about your experience, I'll ask this. In your experience, what level of danger is this trail?
Well, objection vague.
In your experience, how dangerous is this trail?
Same objection.
It could be very dangerous.
Now, you were asked about the scene and about the brush at the area near the scene. Is there any exposure at the scene that you saw in there?
Yes, there is.
What exposure is there at the scene?
There is a cliff to the right.
And I know you were asked about the estimating the area you searched. Were you able to search the bottom of the cliff yourself?
I attempted to.
How so?
I went on to the Kaneohe side, and I believe that's the golf course area, to see if I could get to the base of the cliff. But due to the, I guess, daylight and the accessibility, it wasn't possible.
And you were asked something and brought up the missing persons detail. What was your experience in that area for the missing persons detail?
I've had a few cases where there were missing persons located at the bottom of the Pali lookout.
Understood. Okay. Thank you. No further questions.
Any recross based on what was outside the door?
No. Thank you, officer.
Officer, thank you. You can sit down. Finish that first step. Yes, sir. Mr. Brown, state's next witness.
Sequels King Tuan Wu, please proceed.
Hey, June, can you pause that for a minute? I got breaking news. Sort of. Okay, guys, I'm going to take over for a split second. I'm going to take her down, put me up, then I got to share screen. Get a second. I need to download this. We have, okay, this is going on right now. Thousands are urged to evacuate the northern part of Hawaii, Oahu Island due to severe rain and floods. More than 4,000 people been told to leave the northern part of the Hawaii's island. Severe rain and flooding. Let me get more information on that. Let's see more. Officials warn it's a 120-year-old dam that could collapse, and you can see the dam in the background underneath the ABC 7. So that could very well affect what's going on with this trial. So just keep Hawaii in your prayers, y'all. Okay, back to trial.
Witnesses and the complainant.
Am I not
There was.
Oh,
Two,
y'all can hear, but I can't. My apologies.
and when
I
you say
forgot.
gathering
My
information,
hearing aids are not connected. I'm gonna give you the live back. I'm giving you the live back, hon. You've got it again, Jen. I'm taking it. Thank you. I just wanted y'all to know about what's going on in Hawaii. Keep good thoughts for them.
You do solemnly swear or affirm that the testimony you're about to give will be the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth.
I do. Thank you. Please have a seat.
Sorry, just give me a moment to get organized. Hi, good afternoon.
Good afternoon.
Before I ask you any other questions, can I ask you to hold the microphone as close to your mouth as possible?
Okay.
And as much as possible, speak directly into the microphone for the rest of the day, okay?
Okay.
Thank you. First of all, can we start with your name?
Kang Chuan Wu,
And what is your occupation?
police officer,
And how long you been employed, or which department?
Honolulu Police Department.
How long you been employed by HPD?
Almost 22 years.
Were you employed and on duty on March 24th, 2025 at around 10:30 a.m.?
Yes, I was.
On that date and time, where were you dispatched to?
I was dispatched to the Pali Lookout.
Is that in the city and county of Honolulu, state of Hawaii?
Yes, it is.
When you got to the Pali Lookout, what did you do?
I met with other officers that were on scene. We gathered information.
When you say we gathered information, what does that mean?
We met with two witnesses, the complainant.
Is that two witnesses, including the complainant, or
Two witnesses and a complainant.
Okay, so 3 people total.
Correct.
And when you say gathering information, is that just speaking to them?
At that point, yes.
Why do you want to gather information when you get to the scene right away?
So we know what's going on, what happened, if we're looking for somebody.
Does quickly gathering information from witnesses at the scene help or hurt any investigation?
That helps the investigation.
Other than the 2 witnesses and the complainant, was there anybody else there at the scene?
There was.
Who was that?
It was a bystander who was giving the complainant first aid.
All right, so once you get to the Pali Lookout and you got a handle of what was happening, where did you go?
Myself and Corporal Bulagai went up the trail to attempt to locate the suspect and the scene.
Which trail did you go up?
The Pali Puka Trail.
And were you wearing a body-worn camera on March 24, 2025?
I was.
Was it activated as you arrived to the scene?
Yes,
Was it activated as you went up the Pali Puka Trail?
it was.
And was it turned on the whole way you went up the trail?
Yes.
I'm going to approach now with what's been marked as State's Exhibit 4, previously shown to defense. And just give me a moment. Okay, Corporal, do you recognize what this is? Or what I've just handed you?
Yes.
What is that?
It's a DVD.
Before testifying today, did you review what's on that disc?
I did.
And after reviewing, what did you do to the disc?
I signed it and date and timed the disc.
Is the video on this disc a fair and accurate depiction of what you observed on March 24th, 2025?
It is.
At this point, we'll enter states or move to enter States Exhibit 4 into evidence.
So, no objection, subject to what we discussed off the record.
Understood. So what is the mark for identification as State Exhibit 4 we received into evidence?
Okay. I'm going to publish now what's been marked as States Exhibit 4. Okay. All right, publishing now what's been marked as States Exhibit 4. Okay. Corporal, who is in the photo at the moment, or in the pause? And I've paused at timestamp on the top right, 10:45:04.
Okay. The officer is Officer Chun. The arm behind him is one of the female hikers, and then the other female at the very edge of the screen is the second female hiker. The lady standing in the middle is the bystander that's assisting the complainant who has her head wrapped, sitting on the ground.
Thank you. Okay, I'm going to go ahead and scoot forward in time, officer. Okay, and I'm going to pause here at timestamp 10:46:22. I'm going to play for a few seconds and pause again. Okay, Corporal, what are you doing at this point?
This is the beginning of the Palipuka Trail, over the wall from the parking lot of the Pali Lookout.
Okay, and our timestamp is now 10:46:32. I'm going to play for just a couple of minutes now, and I'll ask you questions in a moment. I'm going to pause now at 10:47:22. Corporal, how steep is this area?
The initial part of the hike is kind of a vertical or like steep incline.
Did you hike just using your feet? Did you use any other body parts?
Yeah, my hands.
Corporal, I'm going to pause here. 10:47:51. Kind of a strange question. What were you wearing that day?
I'm wearing basically what I'm wearing right now, my Class A standard patrol uniform.
Okay. Did you have any gear with you?
Just my duty belt, my bulletproof vest. That's it.
How much does a duty belt weigh?
Altogether, the equipment is
Probably close to 20 pounds.
Thanks for clarifying. All right, I'm going to play again at 10:47:51. Corporal, we're going to pause here. 10:48:29. Have you reached the top yet?
No.
Okay. Are you close?
When you mean the top of the trail, yeah.
Okay. We'll play the exhibit. Starting again at 10:48:29. Corporal, I'm going to pause here at 10:49:31. A couple seconds ago in the video, we saw you pausing. What were you doing then?
So I'm not just hiking. I'm looking for either the scene, evidence, and I'm also looking for the suspect.
All right, playing again at 10:49:31. Corporal, I've now paused at 10:50:16. What part of the trail are you seeing here?
I believe this is the first part of the edge of the mountain that I arrived to.
Okay. And can you orient us from this screen? Which side is windward side? Which side is town?
Okay. To the left is town, and then to the right, where the edge is Kaneohe, or windward.
Playing at 10:50:16. Pausing at 10:50:36. Why'd you go back?
There was no other way to go. I had to turn around.
Got it. So you had a dead end at that point.
Yes.
All right. Playing again at 10:50:36. Corporal, pausing at 10:51:08. What section did you just go through there?
It's just a little bit further up from that first opening.
Corporal, what part of the trail is this?
Timestamp.
Oh, I'm sorry. Timestamp 10:51:37.
It's just a little bit further up from that last opening, and then I can't really tell if the item is in the trail yet or not.
Okay. I will play at 10:51:37. If you ever want me to stop, just please say stop, okay?
Okay. Oh, let's go.
Pause. What is this?
This is the complainant's sweater that was on the hiking trail.
Okay.
What timestamp?
Timestamp 10:51:45. I'm going to play that same timestamp right now. Corporal, what are we looking at right now?
That would be the Kaneohe, the windward side of the island.
Okay. And if you could,
Sorry, timestamp.
sorry, 10:52:21. Okay. I'm going to play again at the same timestamp. I'm going to move ahead in time. Just so up here at 10:52:46. I'm going to scoot ahead in time a little bit. Okay, Corporal, this is now at 10:53:26. What area of the trail are we looking at? Oh, I'm sorry. And pausing at 10:53:31. What area of the trail are we looking at right there?
Okay, I believe we went down past the sweater on that trail, and then over here there's kind of a like an offset or like another little strip of the trail that you can walk off of the main trail, and then you can see the windward side Kaneohe in like that kind of really bright spot of the video. And then I believe this is the scene.
Okay. Did you actually go and look at the scene in this portion of your body-worn camera footage?
I did. I mean, I think at this point of my body-worn camera, I still wasn't sure that this was the scene or not. But later on, it is identified as the scene.
Did you take any photos of the scene?
I did.
Okay. And did you take any photos in general in your report?
I submitted with my report. I did.
Okay. And I'm sorry, I'm going to take State's Exhibit 4 down right now, and our end timestamp is 10:53:31. Okay. Corporal, I'm going to approach now with exhibits 5 through 14, which have previously been shown to defense. May I approach them?
Yes.
Corporal, I've handed you what's been marked as State's Exhibits 5 through 14. Can you take a look through all those for me, and then when you're done, look up? Okay, have you finished looking up through all the exhibits?
Yes.
And do you recognize what I handed you?
Yes.
What are these?
These are photos that I took of the scene.
These photos fairly and accurately depict the scene as you observed it on March 24th, 2025.
Yes, it does.
The state will move to enter exhibits 5 through 14 into evidence.
No objection.
Please mark for identification as State's Exhibits 5 through 14 inclusive to be received into evidence.
Corporal, I'm going to publish those photos up on the screen, and for each one, I'm going to ask you to explain a little bit. I'm going to start a little bit out of order. So, Corporal, I'm going to publish now State's Exhibit 13. What are we looking at in this photo?
Is it okay to look at the?
Yeah, and if you need to step down, please let us know.
Okay, that is a photo of where they intended to take a selfie from the ledge.
Objection. Lacks foundation, calls for speculation, hearsay.
To that, it's the same.
So we're going to strike last answer. Just physically, what is in the photo?
It's the trail, or the edge of the trail of that one kind of side trail off of the main.
Oh, this is a side trail you were just mentioning a minute ago?
From yes.
Okay, and this is a still photograph of that?
Yes.
Okay. Publishing State's Exhibit 5 now. What is this photo of?
This is a rock that I found in the area, in the brush.
Okay. What area of the brush?
The location of the incident.
Publishing State's, sorry, where, I'll move to strike that last answer. Okay. So sorry, officer, when I'm asking where did you find that? Where in relation to the trail?
It was just to the, if you're looking from that first photograph, it would be to the left.
Okay.
So
I'm actually going to publish now 2 exhibits. I'm going to publish State's Exhibit 13 as along with State's Exhibit 5. Okay, so State's Exhibit 13 and State's Exhibit 5 are up on the board next to each other. Can you describe how they relate to each other?
The close-up of the rock is in this larger photograph, and it should be in that left portion. You see where it's like where people walk that trail, it should be in that left.
Okay, Corporal, could you take the pointer that's on your right side of the witness stand? And could you direct us to where you took that photo of the rock on State's Exhibit 13, the wide angle photo?
Okay, so it should be over here.
Okay, thank you for explaining. I'm going to take both exhibits down for now. All right. Publish now State's Exhibit 6. Okay, Corporal, what is in this photo?
So I moved the rock from in the brush and I moved it onto the trail.
Okay. And now publishing State's Exhibit 7. What does this photo show?
It's a close-up of the previous photo.
All right. Corporal Wu, how long did it take you to find the rock?
I don't exactly remember how long it took me to find the rock.
During the time you moved the rock to the middle of the trail to take those photos, did you tamper with, alter, destroy any part of the rock?
No, I did not.
Okay. How did you move it?
With my hands.
Were you wearing gloves?
Yes.
Right. Corporal, how far up the trail did you go on March 24th, 2025?
I went about 6 minutes up the trail.
Were you able to locate the suspect on that date?
I was not.
Did you try to find the suspect?
I did.
How did you try and find him?
I tried to look for him, see if I could see him hiding anywhere. I also called out his name.
Approximately how many times did you call out his name?
Many times.
To your knowledge, was any evidence recovered from the scene?
Yes.
What was recovered that you know about?
The rock and the sweater.
Okay. Do you know who recovered the rock?
Our SIS evidence specialist.
Okay. Do you remember her name or no?
I believe it was Cobb.
Okay. Okay. Thank you, Corporal Wu. No further questions at this time.
Thank you.
Thank you, Your Honor. Good afternoon, sir.
Good afternoon.
So you're a corporal?
Correct.
Okay, Corporal Wu. I have a few questions for you today. Thank you. Is that your patrol area?
It is.
And Poly Lookout parking lot is in your patrol area?
Correct.
So you're familiar with the parking lot and on 10 a.m., 10:30 a.m. on a day like this, you've been there before?
More than likely, yeah.
And in your experience on patrol in that area, that parking lot is typically pretty crowded, yes?
Depending.
Yeah, but there's tour buses and cars and tourists that go to the Poly Lookout, yes?
Yes.
Okay. Now, you report to the scene, and pretty soon thereafter, you start hiking up the trail, correct?
Yes.
And you said you were in your, did you call them Class A uniform?
Yes.
Like what you're wearing today, correct?
Correct.
And you mentioned, with your belt and your vest and everything, maybe about 20 pounds of gear, yes?
Yes.
Okay. And so you didn't have any specialized hiking equipment with you, did you?
No.
Okay. You didn't have any, hiking shoes or ropes or anything like that?
No.
Okay. And you started up the trail, correct?
Correct.
And you felt safe enough, you felt it was safe enough for you to continue on to the point that you did, yes?
Yes.
Okay. Now, you mentioned as you're heading up the trail that there was a main trail, and then there was kind of like you called it, I think, an offset where you could go off the main trail to look over where you opened up so you can look off towards Kaneohe side, yes?
Correct.
Okay. Could we please go to, if possible, to 1050.16 of exhibit number 4. Okay. This is one that was played earlier. And no audio. No, yeah. 1 second. Okay. Please play it, Mr. Mayor. Okay, and let's stop there. Okay, so this is one of those offsets, right? This is not the main trail right here, correct?
I guess it would be better to use the word branch.
Yeah, okay, branch.
Branching off the,
right.
Yeah.
This is a branch from the main trail, right?
A branch off of the main trail.
Right. Okay, in other words, you can come down the main trail or up the main trail without taking that branch and going by the edge, correct?
Yes.
Okay.
I could have bypassed that branch?
Yeah, right. You chose to go that way and get closer to the edge to look at it, correct?
Yes.
Okay. We can take that down. Now, you mentioned that it took you about 6 minutes to get to the area you believed was the scene, yes?
Correct.
But as you indicated, you were stopping from time to time, is that right?
Yes.
And in part to look for evidence, look for the suspect, is that right?
Correct. I was also, making sure I was doing this safely.
Okay.
And looking for the suspect, looking for the scene, evidence.
Catching your breath every now and then?
Yes.
A little bit. But even with all of that, it took you about 6 minutes. Yes, officer?
Yeah.
Okay. Now, you get up to the area you described where you located the rock, correct?
Yes.
And then you had, I guess, your cell phone to take some photos. Is that right?
Correct.
And the rock was on the side there, and you took it out with gloves and put it down and photographed it. Yes.
Yes.
Okay. One second. You mentioned, and we saw it on the video, there was a sweater on the ground, yes?
Correct.
And that was on the main trail, correct?
Correct.
All right. And eventually, did you walk back down to the parking lot?
Eventually.
Okay. And the only thing that you, evidence-wise, photographed was the rock, correct?
And the scene?
Right. The scene, but the scene and the brush. But as far as any object you located, the only thing you photographed was the rock, correct?
The rock. There was some blood.
Oh, you took photographs of that too?
It's part of these.
Okay. And the sweater that was on the video, correct?
Correct.
All right. That's all the questions I have for you. Thank you, sir.
Thank you.
Thank you, just a moment. Yes. Corporal, you were just asked about, or you just talked about the blood you took a photograph of. Could you pull that exhibit and tell me what number is on the back?
Eight.
Okay.
Oh, S8.
Got it.
Did you want all the?
All right, I'm going to go through and I'm going to publish State's Exhibit 8 right now. I'm sorry, I got to change.
Objection, beyond the scope.
Okay, I'm going to publish State's Exhibit 8. Okay, Corporal, can you point us out to the blood you photographed in this one?
Right there, there's a small drip of blood on that piece of wood.
Okay, and I'm going to zoom in. Corporal, could you point us out to the blood in this exhibit right now, to Exhibit 8?
Right there.
Okay, and you're directing the pointer towards the center of the screen at this point. Did you take any other photos of blood?
Yes.
Publishing States Exhibit 9. Where was the blood in this photo?
There's actually two. So there's this area of blood and also that area of blood.
Okay, and you now directed the pointer towards the center of the screen and the center left of the screen for States Exhibit 9. Okay. Corporal Wu, I'm going to publish this States Exhibit alongside States Exhibit 13. Okay. Where was the blood on the States Exhibit 9 on the right side in relation to States Exhibit 13?
Also in this brush area.
Did we miss any other photos of blood that you took, Corporal?
S10.
States Exhibit 10. Okay, publishing now. Okay, publish now States Exhibit 10. Can you point us out to the blood on this exhibit?
You can see the blood on the leaves and then the branch.
Okay, and for the record, you're directing the pointer to the center of the screen.
Correct.
I'm going to publish now alongside States Exhibit 10 with States Exhibit 13. Could you orient us to where these two are together, States Exhibit 10 and 13?
I believe this should also be along the branch of the trail, not necessarily like inside that brushy area.
Okay. Sorry for one more thing with this. I'm going to go back to publishing just States 10. And I'm going to zoom in. Okay, can you point us out to the blood you photographed now?
Here on the leaf, kind of like the branch or maybe bamboo shoot, leaves over here. I think that's it.
Okay.
I think that's a dried leaf.
And that's the general center and left area of this photo, is that fair?
Correct.
All right, Corporal. Thank you very much.
Brief follow-up, Your Honor. Can we publish Exhibit 13, please? All right. Corporal Wu, you just, this was about a year ago, correct?
Correct.
And you just pointed to the area you believe the blood was, right?
Correct.
But you did a report in this case back on the day that you took these photos, correct?
Yes, I did.
And it's a one-page report, correct?
Correct.
And in your report, you didn't document the specific place in this photograph that you found the blood or anything like that, did you?
I would have to look at what the report said, I guess.
Would you like to see your report?
Sure.
Okay, may I approach?
Yes. Is it marked?
This is marked as Defense Exhibit, I'm sorry, it's page stamp Konig P40. This is a report.
New States Exhibit 189.
States Exhibit 189.
Thank you.
Okay, may I approach?
Yes.
Take a look at it and read it to yourself and let me know when you're ready. Okay, can you hand it back to me? Did your report indicate where in this photo you saw the blood?
Not specifically, but in the last line, it does say, I mean, I could have read it. It's like 5 photos of the bush and the trail area.
Yeah, I said 5 photos of blood found in the bush and area along the trail, right?
Correct.
But you're here a year later pointing to this photo saying it maybe in this area, but I mean, specifically, you never noted specifically where in this photo the close-ups of the blood was from, correct?
Not besides that last sentence in my report.
Not besides the general statement that 5 photos of blood found in the brush and area along the trail, correct?
Correct.
All right, thank you, sir.
Any other questions? No, thank you. Corporal, thank you. You can sit down. Watch that first step. Off record.
So, ladies and gentlemen, I'm going to release you for the day. It's early.
So, 2 bits of good news that go along with the early release. Number one, we're actually ahead of schedule, which is why I'm releasing early. So that's the first bit of good news. The second bit of good news is the rain is coming. So it's good that you have an early start on the commute home today. I do have some instructions though. The rain is coming. We don't expect it to be like it was last week, Friday. I didn't get any word about suspending court operations. We are planning to be here tomorrow, continue on with trial. I'm going to have your report back at 9:30. But because we're sensitive to the weather now, I would ask you to keep watching the news. If there's any reports about government closures, if you have any questions, call us in the morning. We'll let you know. But I'm anticipating we're going to continue on. We're going to be wet on the commute, but I'm anticipating and expecting the court tomorrow coming back at 9:30. I have a couple of things I need to finish up on my morning calendar. We'll start up at 9:30. A couple of things to keep in mind though. Between now and we come back at 9:30 tomorrow, remember those 3 rules. You know there's a camera, there's news, there's media about this case. Don't watch any of it. Don't try to look up the case. Don't talk to anybody about this case. Keep an open mind. Again, do not try to learn about this case outside of the courtroom. Okay? You have to resist the temptation. I know there's news. Don't watch it. Okay? Again, you must decide the case based on the evidence presented here in court. Leave your notebooks on the chair. We'll be waiting for you when you come back tomorrow morning. Okay, all of you have a safe drive home tonight. Have a good night. Safe drive back to court tomorrow. I'll see you at 9:30. All right.
I have a clarifying question. The officer did sign the that disc. Could I have the audio redacted one just put on the same disc? Is that acceptable?
What happened to the original track?
Sorry, the original track is on the disc that was admitted.
So will there be both on there?
No, I want to, my suggestion is, I need to think about this for a moment before.
Do you have any objections to the state retrieving S4 and replacing the track with one without audio on that disc?
No, so long as you can also delete the one with audio.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah.
Okay, that's fine.
So try to take care of that.
Yeah.
Take a look at it tomorrow.
We will.
And if we need to deal with it again, happy to do so.
Thank you.
Yes,
And then the only second thing is, on the record for witnesses for tomorrow.
I'll let you guys work out. We don't need to.
Oh, no, not necessarily.
Yeah.
But just before we all leave here.
I do want to talk about scheduling off record up here at the bench. Off record. But anything else on record?
Not on.
Okay.
Yeah.
Then we'll go off. Then council approach.
Before he can.
Take your time.
Yeah, just take your time. Well, I want to know about the witnesses. I can tell him before he leaves.
Sure.
Okay, guys. So we have, let me do this. Let me put me back on stage and I'm going to share this screen. Okay, guys, thank you so much for watching. We have our giveaway entries to get those. What I do is if you subscribe and you put I sub, or you like and you put I liked in the comments at the end of the month, every day I draw a winner, and that winner is entered into the end of the month drawing for a free Amazon gift card. Now we are looking at June and Angela are looking at streaming live Sunday, approximately 3:30 Central Time, 1:30 Mountain Time. This case on day 2, so we're caught up on Monday for day 3. So we will be doing it live. Just keep an eye out. Click that bell so you know when we go live. All right, let's start our drawing. This is for the I subbed portion of this trial. So I subbed. So let's see who's going to get that. Yay, Miss June. All right, the other person will automatically get it. If a mod wins it, it automatically goes to the. I'd either draw again or it goes to the other person. So this is, we have several of these to do. We have Kathleen Lovejoy. Congratulations, you have an entry. We do these every day. Sometimes I have to keep them for a day, but the winner, these names will be entered into the end of the month. The drawing for an Cam T6582, you have an entry into the end of the month giveaway. Congratulations. And the giveaway is a $25 gift card to Amazon. It is free. It costs you nothing. If you become a member, you also are in a drawing for an honey. Oh, didn't mean to do it that way. You are also in for a drawing. There we go. For the memberships, that will be a separate $25 now. If a membership is not claimed, I put it into the next months, and we'll do 3 drawings the following month. But right now, luckily, all of them have been claimed. Everybody wants their gift card. Last month on the I liked, I subbed, I shared, it was a Miss Ari, and she got it immediately that day. Got that gift card immediately. Congratulations, Sarah. Why is this acting up? Hold on. There we go. I screenshot them so I know who wins. Last one, we had multiple trials the last 2 days, so we had a lot of entries. So congratulations to all of the entries. You can do this once a day for every day. Why is this acting up? It's acting up on me. Let me, come on, let go. There we go. Since we already had, she's won once, we'll draw again. So guys, we will, woohoo! We got new subscribers. Thank you so much. And we've got new viewers today. Honey, you have an entry. All of you guys do have entries to the end of the month giveaway. We will draw it when I come back on April 1st, April Fool's Day. I will be stepping back and allowing my mods to take over. I know I look like a hot mess. I am moving to a new home, and I packed up. We took 2 carloads over today, and we got the pantry, laundry room, kitchen. So we got a lot of work done today. I'm going to go now work on the studio and start breaking down everything around me. Mods, thank you so much for stepping in. Again, Sunday, we hope to be live approximately 3:30 Central, 1:30 Mountain, California time. Please keep Hawaii and all those affected by the flood in your prayers. Girl, y'all know this chick went through the Kerrville flood 4th of July. Yes, I was a part of that. And my heart, I see floods and I almost get a little bit panicky. So my heart does go out to all of you who are dealing with that in Hawaii, and know that we are here and praying for you and hope that you stay safe. We have a new watcher, Cam T6582. I believe you are from Hawaii and live there. Please be safe and always reach out to us if you need anything. This is our Discord over there, and you can click on that. We have place in Discord for you to let us know that you're safe. It's a weather section, weather channel section. And we have all kinds of fun. We need to do a movie night again. We haven't done that in a while. So we do a movie night if we have an interest. We have pets, we have merch, we have hobbies, we have gifts, we have all kind of fun stuff. So go join us on our Discord. We'd love to have you. But yes, that is prayers of all of you out in Texas. Oh, actually, I just got hired on. I was going to share this, but I'll share it now. I have been offered and accepted a job as a disaster case manager. My first group of people will be the people from the Kerrville flood. And we are still deep in recovery. That is going to take several years for some areas nearby. But we hope Cam T65826582. We hope that you guys don't have it as bad as we did. But do you know what? It doesn't matter. When you lose your house and your possessions due to flood, it's horrible. And so our hearts and prayers go out to you guys as well. It's horrible all the way around. But until Monday or Sunday, if you come back and watch day 2 of this trial with my mods, y'all have a nice weekend. Have a great day. Enjoy your family. It's spring. Oh, I forgot to tell y'all. Today, what is it called? Where the sun and the earth are perfectly aligned. The rays are going perfectly parallel. It's so cool. What do they call that? March equinox. We're in that as well today. All right, guys, be blessed, miigwech. Have a great evening. See you guys soon. Thanks for watching. Please comment, like, share, and most importantly, subscribe. I hope you have an awesome day. Till next time, take care.